What's up, my good people of the internet? This is a very special Black Friday edition of Wake Up Call with Dan Tortora. So happy to be here with you. I am picture in picture with Brendan Murphy. You know, DT and Murphy starts off your week on Wake Up Call, but Murph and I during holiday season have changed it up and decided to end our week with you this week. And so happy belated Thanksgiving to everybody. Hope you had a wonderful Thanksgiving. Hope you're continuing that today, having some turkey. Hopefully you're watching us laying in bed with a turkey sandwich on your chest while you watch football. So hope all is well. Black Friday, for the first time ever, is going to feature an NFL game. The Miami Dolphins will be at the New York Jets. So we'll talk to Murph about that. You know, on Fridays, we have 3 signature segments for years on Wake Up Call. The annoying moment of the week, which is proudly presented by Carvel, DeWitt. Lead, the acronym for Learn, Evolve, Ad-Lib, and Deliver, proudly presented by Chick-fil-A Cicero and Chick-fil-A Clay. And Chick-fil-A Cicero just reopened after their refurbishment, so very excited about that. We'll give our top dog of the week from Canine Camp Dog Daycare and Canine Kampground Dog Boarding. And Murph and I will also be discussing Zach Wilson not only getting benched, but the Jets making a statement that you are on the bench and you're the third string. So we don't even want you to be our backup anymore. So a demotion of a demotion. Zach Wilson will get Murph's thoughts because he's a big time Jets fan and he is a massive collector of Zach Wilson cards. It's crazy. It's kind of out of hand. And so we'll also get into Syracuse and this head coaching vacancy after almost a full 8 years with Dino Babers. And of course, if you're on wakeupcalldt.com, you have seen my many articles about this. And if you've been watching and listening to the shows, you have seen and heard a bunch of different interviews as well, including with a bunch of alumni, fullback Trayvon Burke, as well as kicker Nate Trout, running back Rob Drummond, and running back D Brown, who said on my show that he is interested in the head coaching position. So a lot of stuff coming up. Tiger is back, and Murph and I have some show and tell. So if you're waiting in line right now at your store on Black Friday and you're like, this line is insanity. Like, I got what I wanted. I found it. I got here before everybody else. And now I got to stand in a line that looks like I'm going to a Disney ride. Well, now we're giving you something to do. So put the buds in, get ready to laugh, and let's have a happy Friday. Murph, how are you?
We are good, sir. We are good. We're having a good time. Went to my sister's yesterday for Thanksgiving, so that was fun. So I'm down here at Jersey, getting ready to probably head out for work here pretty soon. So we're having a nice Friday morning.
Yeah, absolutely. And a happy Turkey Day to you, Murph. We're going to talk about what we're thankful for this season and always. But first, we have to do the annoying moment of the week.
Dan Tortora proudly brings you...
Is that for real? Are you kidding me?
The annoying moment of the week.
I really, honestly, I don't know how to respond to this.
Presented by Carvel DeWitt, 4322 East Genesee Street. It's what happy tastes like.
Do you have to be that crazy? I guess so. And I was taught to be a gentleman. So the annoying moment of the week, probably presented by Carvel DeWitt. I would like to know your annoying moment this week before I give mine.
Well, I'm actually going to let you go first because I'm still trying to figure this one out.
Okay. All right.
Because,
Fair enough.
not thinking that we were doing a show on Friday, I had to be prepared, which, unfortunately I wasn't. So that's my own fault, but I'll let you go first.
I'll take it on me. It's my fault. I should have given you some prior notice of our annoying moment. I mean, there's some easy ones that I can choose, but I would say that my annoying moment of the week is it being the holiday season and seeing people get away from Merry Christmas and writing Happy Holidays on everything. So I am all about Happy Hanukkah. I have friends that are Jewish. So shout out Brandon, shout out Ross. What's up to my peoples? So and to the entire Litvak and Turetsky family, I just don't like how much it's changed. And I have this rule that if you don't believe in Jesus, you shouldn't celebrate his birthday, and you shouldn't buy yourself gifts, and you shouldn't have other people buy you gifts, because if you don't believe that Jesus existed, you shouldn't benefit from his birthday. So yeah, I would say I mean, I always say Merry Christmas, Happy Holidays. So I don't like when people don't say Merry Christmas. And I know it's not Christmas yet, but it's just, I mean, it's stuff like that. Like, we're so PC now, and it's just aggravating because, like, if I wish somebody a happy Hanukkah, like, nobody goes on Twitter and writes about it. So I don't see what the issue is. I mean, I mean, if you wish me a happy Hanukkah, I don't find myself offended. And, I'm like, thank you, I thank you, and Merry Christmas to you. So yeah, I would probably say the PC world in general is kind of like getting really annoying, because everyone's like, what do I say? How do I say it? What's the proper terminology? And I'm like, dude, just like, if you're a loving, caring person, just speak, I just don't understand this, like, needing to put everything through a funnel and have 19 people check it before you post it because you can't offend anybody. So, I mean, I would say my annoying moment of the week is, really nice, kind, loving, God-fearing people feel like they can't just, like, be themselves. And when I say be themselves, they love God, they're nice, and they have morals and values. So I don't really understand what the problem is, and hence why I don't really date that much of the past year plus, because I'll talk to women, and as soon as I tell them I believe in God, it goes someplace. I'll just be like, "Yeah, I believe in God." I don't ring a bell and go crazy, but I tell people I believe in God, and then, they're like, "Well, I don't." So, okay. I mean, that's your choice. So, my annoying moment of the week would just be that some people in America are allowed to be themselves while telling other people in America that they can't be. And hypocrisy to me is the eighth deadly sin. If I could add one to the seven deadly sins, hypocrisy is number 8. So yeah, I would just say let people be people if they're being kind and loving and caring, and gosh forbid they believe in our maker, and let them be who they are. That's my annoying moment of the week. What's yours?
Well, I'm going to give an honorable mention to Joe Burrow
Okay.
for having a season-ending injury that pretty much put an end to the season on one of my fantasy football teams. So that definitely was not ideal, and I'm having trouble acquiring another quarterback. Although that is the tanking league, I will say that. I know technically we've talked about this on the show before. The one league, the one dynasty league I have that I'm trying to tank. Funny enough, the last 5 weeks I have not been trying to lose, and I've lost, I think, 4 out of the last 5, or 3 out of the last 5, something like that.
Yeah.
And I am in second to last. So number 1 pick is still in play. Marvin Harrison Jr. is still in play. That is the hope. For me, though, it's probably got, I'm going to say it's got something to do with the fact that it's been so dead at work right now. There's no lessons. I had 1 lesson on Wednesday. I have 2 on the schedule today. Obviously, I didn't have anything yesterday because yesterday was Thanksgiving. I was off on Monday.
Yeah.
Tuesday, I think I had 2 or 3 lessons all day. It's just so dead. And what sucks is I'm not going to hit any of my teaching ladders for the year. So that's going to be pretty annoying. But I know that sounds like a kind of a boring answer, but that's what I got.
I'm going to give another one because I have to. And I was looking at it when we were talking because it makes me upset. And you mentioned fantasy football. No matter what I do with one of my fantasy football teams, they just don't win. And I feel, and I go to free agents
Because you give yourself the number 1 pick and then you don't make the right number 1 pick.
I don't give myself the number 1 pick, and I pick
False.
Huh?
False.
in what world do I give myself the number one pick, Murph? So
You end up with the number one pick every other year in the Marywood Dynasty, in the Marywood,
yeah, and
in the Marywood
put my
League.
hand on a Bible and watch me not get struck by lightning. So I promise you, I don't. It's like it gets annoying to me that I was like, man, like I want the number one or number two pick, but if I get it, everyone's gonna be weird. But you guys watch, like you watch the picks come, like you watch the wheel get spun and you see it.
Fair enough.
So like, you know,
You still find a way to rig it, though.
this you are such a just not nice person in this moment. And I mean, this is how, I mean, honestly, and I know we're kidding, but it's just like, because I'm not a cheater, folks. I mean, you could put my hand on the Bible for sure. You know, definitely. And there's no cheating going on here. But I do want to give my annoying moment of the week to one of my fantasy football teams because they stink. And I'll take responsibility for, you know, like something. I want to look at the team right now, but I'll go to the waiver wire and free agency and I'm just like, there's nobody there that's better than what I have. I think maybe I named the team wrong because I put Alan Lazard's name in it. So maybe I don't know, hurt myself in that respect. But when I look at my roster, and let me bring up my roster. Can I do that? Okay.
Alan Lazard's name.
Yeah.
Why would you put Alan Lazard's name on any fantasy?
Because I put Waddle like a Lazard, and I just thought it was cool. But here's what I got. I have
right.
I thought it was a fun name. I had a really inappropriate name, and I didn't use it. So maybe that's my fault. I had Trevor Lawrence, Josh Jacobs, Delvin Cook. I know Christian Kirk. I picked up Jonathan Mingo because I think somebody got hurt. Adam Trotman, also I had to pick him up. Jalen Waddle, Jerome Ford, Jags D, Justin Tucker, Kyle Pitts, Kadarius Toney, and Alan Lazard didn't do anything for me. Tank Bigsby and Deuce Vaughn, because I got my running backs a little bit later in those guys. And I picked up Sean Tucker. I have Saints quarterback and Rashid Shaheed, but on IR, J.K. Dobbins and Justin Jefferson. And while Justin Jefferson's been off, my team's done this really thing as like not win. And when he was there,
naturally,
they also didn't win. And so I'm just finding myself to be very frustrated that no matter what I do, this team just really doesn't, they just don't want to win. And I will take responsibility because I picked them, but I go and I look at, I'm going to pick this guy up though. So yeah, I'm going to do this now.
He makes a move.
Oh, I'm doing stuff while we're talking because the thing is, what I found is I will say things on my fantasy football show and then I'll just casually go look later on. And I'm sitting here like, son of a B. Like I picked this guy up and no, that sucks. And so I'll look at something and I'll be like, man, I picked this guy up, or I wanted to pick this guy up. And it was after I talked about it on my show. So I'm going to talk about this one after I do it. And I'm going to go ahead and move him in. So I picked up Jeff Wilson Jr. because everybody in Miami in the backfield's hurt. So why not Jeff Wilson Jr.? He was at the top of this list. But I feel like this was a team where I should have spent more time figuring it out week by week and just like really digging into it. And at the same time, I feel like there's just been slim pickings out here a lot. So I should have gotten at it a little bit earlier. But I look at the people that are available and I'm just like, ew. So yeah, I mean, the team is 1-10. There's a chance I'm not going to make the playoffs. And I don't know the last time that, my team has looked like this. So I have 3 other ones, thank goodness. But these ones make me really sad. And I didn't think it was a bad team. So Jacobs and Lawrence and Justin Jefferson and all that, like, I don't feel like I had Kyle Pitts. I don't feel like I had a bad team on paper. So it's
never a bad team on paper.
I know it's just a sad thing to me right now. Like, I think I have the worst team in the league right now. I don't want to look at it. And let's see. Yeah, I have the worst team in the league. So that's cool. Well, that means I should get the number 1 pick next year. But why should I get it when I get it anyways? Because Brendan says I cheat. So yeah. So my other annoying moment of the week is that Waddle like a Lazard. I'm trying and we're just not getting there. And there was a game where I scored over 100, which a lot of people do now. And the team against me scored 231. And I was like, at this point, I mean, what are we doing? So, I don't know who they had that day, honestly. I mean, Bo Jackson and Barry Sanders, but here we are. So I'm
You
frustrated.
want to hear something funny?
Go ahead.
So my IDP Dynasty League, I had the best week I've had all year.
Mhm.
So Trevor put up some massive numbers.
Right.
32 points, 4 total touchdowns, and everything. ETN didn't do all that much. I had to start Jaleel McLaughlin at running back because everyone else is on a bye.
Yeah.
And Dameon Pierce was hurt, so I started him. He got 4 points, whatever. But Tank freaking Dell, 8 catches, 149 yards, and a touchdown. He is awesome. He is clearly CJ Stroud's favorite target.
Yeah.
Garrett Wilson didn't do much naturally because, they didn't really get him the ball. Puka had another good game. And then my defense, my goodness. Aiden Hutchinson, 16 points. TJ Watt, 23. Micah Parsons, 25 and a half. What is his first name? I don't remember. Alex Singleton, 29 points. Donovan Wilson, 9 points. Not great.
Yeah.
Jalen Thompson, 32. Jack Campbell, 14. Terrell Bernard, 11 and a half. I put up 262 points. My opponent put up 233, the second most in the league, and lost. So I feel bad for him. But that was a big week out of that team. This week, at least I get Bijan back. But I don't really have a place to start Tank Dell though, man, unless I bench Garrett Wilson. But I don't know if I want to bench Garrett Wilson with Tim Boyle at QB now.
Because every quarterback has their guy.
Yeah.
So you never know.
That's why I'm thinking Tank Dell.
Here's my thing.
But
should I play Tua against your Jets? I feel like I should.
what are your other options?
Jared Goff. Against Chicago. No, it's not. Against Minnesota.
Yeah.
Oh, no. I'm sorry. Against Green Bay. Lions are playing. No. That already happened. Never mind. I'm thinking of a different week. That happened yesterday. Never mind. So
yes, Tua.
So yeah, what I'm saying is I had switched Tua into Jared Goff's spot because I like the Lions. I don't think Jared he's not the quarterback that I want to rely on in fantasy. In reality,
when you've got Tua, Jared Goff's a good backup.
Yeah. No, of course. Who's
great bye week quarterback.
Yeah, who's not on my roster anymore? Well, I shouldn't say not on my roster, he's on my bench, is George Pickens, because Pittsburgh is just a poop show right now.
They're a dumpster fire, man.
They're not good at all. and so it's just sad. By the way, Kenny Pickett, $900. Do you want the card?
I told you to sell it,
bro. I don't want to sell it. I didn't want to sell it on eBay. I was trying to sell it
when you could have gotten $600 for it.
I want it. Well, it was still. Listen, as of last week, it was going for $600 on comps. So I'm just telling you.
Listen, I'm going to be up there next weekend. Next weekend, we price it at 6. We price it at 7. Yeah. Someone offers you 6, you take it.
That's fine. That's fine, Murph. I'm okay with that because
all I know is that Lamar's come down in value quite a bit. I'm probably going to lose money on that card.
See, but I don't know why. Because Lamar's doing well.
No, it's because we didn't know what it was worth, and we came up with a number, and one of a similar one just sold for like $480. So
But I think but the one that
not much we could really do about it.
But the one that you have is rare.
So is that one. It's the exact same card.
Is it tricolor?
It's quad color, actually.
Well, that's ridiculous. So we need to delete that from the internet. Can we do that? So
I wish we could.
Let's get into lead. So we gave our annoying moments, probably presented by Carvel, DeWitt, 4322 East Genesee Street in DeWitt, New York. It is what happy tastes like. Make your way over to Carvel DeWitt. Perfect for you on Black Friday because you're going to need some food. You need to fuel yourself in between all this. Don't let the cold weather fool you. Go get the DT Dolphin. On Wednesdays, you can get a buy one, get one. How about it? And it's mint chocolate chip, green for the Dolphins, hot fudge, whipped cream, cherry, green and gold sprinkles for the dolphins, and a chocolate dolphin jumping out of your whipped cream. It is fantastic. And I brought Murph over to Carvel DeWitt last time he was in town, and I found out that Murph is so bland and so picky. So Murph had some fun with us, and he got some Carvel ice cream. He really did. But Murph was like, "Can I have the vanilla hold? Just can I just have a piece of
Hold
paper?
everything.
Can I hold it? Can I have a piece of paper with nothing on it?" So, but you had the
Hey,
vanilla.
there is nothing better than good vanilla ice cream, and Carvel DeWitt definitely had good vanilla ice cream.
This is how I look at it. Okay. Whenever I go somewhere growing up as a kid, it was like, who has a good twist? If you have a good twist, then you're okay. Carvel has the best ice cream in the world. And there's a
It
reason why I've worked with them
it
for
brings me back to, and it's funny that I remember this because I was very young.
yeah.
It brings me back to when we were living in Staten Island when I was little. There was a Carvel very close, like up the street or something like that.
Yeah.
We used to go there for on occasion, and I always remember Carvel being phenomenal ice cream.
It is.
You know, I have a slight bias to a certain ice cream place in the Poconos, but Carvel was phenomenal when I was up there.
Yeah.
And it brought me back to when I was a kid back in Staten Island.
It is. It's a different world. And Carvel DeWitt is the longest standing Carvel franchise in America, which is really cool. They're heading towards 70 years, which is awesome. And we get to work with them, which is so, so cool. And big ups to them, and much love and respect to all of the wonderful people that are on staff at Carvel DeWitt. So with that being said, make sure you make your way out there any day of the week and show them some love here on Black Friday. Get yourself some ice cream today, no matter what the weather is, for sure. Next thing that we have up here, Murph, that we do on a Friday is called Lead. It is an acronym that I created. I fully give God all the credit for this. I wanted to create an acronym, and he led me to lead, learn, evolve, ad-lib, and deliver. And today's topic in Lead, proudly presented by Chick-fil-A Cicero, which has just been reopened after its refurbishment. They're only 5 years old, yet they wanted to make the experience even better. That's because Jimmer Sikowski and his team are incredible. And of course, Chick-fil-A Clay. So you can go to the one in Cicero. And I'm sure with all of you out shopping today, you're going to be frequenting both of these because they're on really busy roads, Route 11 for Chick-fil-A Cicero and Route 31 for Chick-fil-A Clay, 7916 Brewerton Road for the one in Cicero on Route 11. And the one on Route 31 is 3974 New York Route 31 in Liverpool, New York. And you're going to go to both of those, I am sure, in between all of the hustle and bustle. And it's always crazy busy in central and upstate New York around these areas. So Chick-fil-A, make sure you go out there. Shout out to Jimmer Sikowski, one of my brothers like Murph. And I love you all dearly. So to Jimmer and Betty, and to Sam, as well as Jack and Hunter, happy Thanksgiving. God bless you all. You are a tremendous family, and I'm so proud to be a part of your lives and be a part of the family. So with that being said, today's topic is, what are you thankful for? And you get to go first, Murph.
Well, obviously on Thanksgiving, it got you thinking about, things that you're thankful for. And, the more I think about it, I think the one thing I don't think about enough that I'm thankful for is the fact that I'm still able to live at home with my parents, and they're not like trying to kick me out actively, right? Because there's plenty of people out there that they're once they turn 18, it's like, yep, see you, you're on your own.
Yeah.
But I'm grateful to them, and the fact that I haven't had to move out at all yet. Now, I would like to. Now, I'm at 25 years old. I'm more than ready to. But with housing being so expensive, my mom has basically said, "Yeah, don't worry about it. Like, don't be in a rush. When I move out, it's probably going to be when I move south.
Yeah.
So that'll probably be the thing that will end up happening there." But I mean, that's, if there's one thing in particular that I think of, it definitely comes back to that. It's something I don't really, I kind of take for granted sometimes. And, I think it's something I should start to, realize that, hey, I'm saving all this money on rent for not having to, go anywhere. So it's, it definitely helps me out. And, the nice thing is they're more than willing to do that, because I know there's people out there that don't have that same ability, and their parents aren't willing to let them do that, or their parents aren't around. And so, the fact that they're here and they're, willing to, continue to let me stay there, it's always been something I got to be thankful for.
Yeah. I think that's a phenomenal answer. Shout out to mom. What are, share with everybody, mom and dad's names. You got to shout them out.
So Kevin and Gail, they are sitting around the house now. I think my mom just came back from walking the dog. So they are, we had a nice Thanksgiving, and they're staying the weekend down here. I'm going to be heading out. I'm going to be heading back home and basically have the house myself for the rest of the weekend once I get home later tonight.
Yeah. So a big time shout out to Kevin and Gail. What I am most thankful for inside of Lead, I would say, well, I mean, it's brought to you by Chick-fil-A Cicero and Chick-fil-A Clay. I'm thankful that Jimmer is here with us. People know that he has been fighting a 3-year fight with ALS, and he's here. And so I love him dearly. So I would say I'm thankful for him. I'm going to shout out to your family, Kevin and Gail, and to my mom and dad, Deb and Ralph, to Lily, my pup, who is here in the studio with me today, hanging out and resting. So I would say, I'm thankful for my family, blood and not blood. I'm thankful for my brothers, you, Jimmer. I'm thankful for Brandon. I'm thankful for Ross. I'm thankful for Rob, for Isaac, for Joey, for Johnny. There's people that I consider brothers. I'm thankful to be a godfather to Noah. I'm thankful to be an uncle to a ton of children that I genuinely love dearly. And so I would say, this holiday season and always, I need to spend more time focusing on the people that I get to be with in my life that choose me every day and love them up. I think I focus sometimes on the people on the social medias and people that are a pain in the tush and people that are mean to you, no matter how nice you are to them, instead of focusing on my family. And when I say my family, I mean everybody that I'm close to. So I have great businesses I get to work with. They're wonderful, have an awesome support system. And Murph, I'm not ashamed to say this. I'm a man in this world that can turn around to my people and say, I love them. And, I love you. And very much so. And I love you like a little brother. So to me, I'm thankful for the people that God put in my life. He surrounded me with a ton of love, the best army ever. And yeah, I feel like a G because of all you guys. So I would say that's what I'm thankful for. I'm thankful for my health. I'm thankful that I'm healing. This year has been a challenge in certain areas, but not a challenge that I can't handle. And, God doesn't give anything you can't. I'm thankful that my business is over a decade old. Thankful that I work for myself. I'm thankful that I travel. I have like the best life ever. So I don't have anything to complain about. And I apologize to God for complaining because my thank you list is very long. So I got nothing to complain about other than the fact that I'm happy that I'm awake, happy that I have great loved ones, that I do what I love and love what I do, that I've just gotten started, that I know I'm going to achieve all my dreams because nothing's going to stop me. And God is awesome. And, that I have Lily, that I get to be a dad, and she changed my life. So it's so cool, and she challenges me to be a good person every day. And she challenges me to care about the things that matter. So it's amazing how a dog cannot speak English, yet she probably teaches me more than most people teach me. And I value that very much so. So I would say my life is awesome. And it's awesome because I serve a God that is very forgiving and very loving and knows that I'm a pain in the butt sometimes, but he still loves me. So I would say, I'm 38 years old. I'm working for myself. I'm collecting cards and I'm talking about sports. I got an awesome life, and I value every single relationship that I have, and I hope they feel the same. So yeah, God is good. God is great. And I don't need Thanksgiving to tell me this stuff. And I also have had friends pass away. And so that makes people like you all the more important to me, and spending quality time and really getting to know you and why you tick and what matters to you and what makes you Brendan, because I value you tremendously. And you're in a world of people that I keep very close. So that's what I would say. Murph. Next up for us is to give our top dog of the week. I know yours is going to be Zach Wilson. I didn't want to let everybody know.
How about bottom dog of the week?
So
or the not top dog of the week, as they like to say.
Or in the doghouse of the week. We could do that one. So he is in the doghouse.
We don't have to talk. We're going to talk about him later. We don't have to bring him up now.
So I just had to utilize it where I could. But I would say that Top dog of the week, probably presented by Canine Camp Dog Daycare and Canine Kampground Dog Boarding, which are both in East Syracuse. Fantastic place to go. The only place I trust with Miss Lily and with your dog. Canine Camp Dog Daycare is on 228 Old Bridge Street in East Syracuse, right off Erie Boulevard, and very close to everything. It's close to the mall. It's close to the highway, the thruway, all different areas of Central New York, and you can call them at 315-437-7110. You can get to the campgrounds on 242 Johnson Street in East Syracuse, down the road from the daycare, and their number is 315-299-4013. Call them ASAP, especially if you need them during the holidays. They do fill up quick because they do a job that is literally second to none. So don't wait. Call them today. With that being said, Murph, who is your top dog of the week?
My top dog of the week is actually a team.
Okay.
So I'm going to say the Philadelphia Eagles are my top dogs of the week for taking down the Kansas City Chiefs, and also Jalen Carter for nearly intercepting a spike. If you didn't see that, that was pretty fun. But the way that they've played a really good football game, they beat another good team. Yeah. In what could very well be a preview of another Super Bowl meeting between the two of them. Mm-hmm. Obviously, if you're a Chiefs fan, you still have the one that matters. But Eagles now 9-1, and don't forget their one and only loss, Zach Wilson and the Jets.
Yeah,
don't forget about that. But Eagles go to 9-1, big win over the Chiefs. They're gonna be my top dogs of the week.
Yeah, I think that's a great choice, and I would definitely agree with you. I'm going to pick something else because I don't want to have two of the same, but I do agree with you that the Eagles deserve that. My top dog of the week would have to be everyone who my top dog of the week would have to be everyone who has given during this holiday season. There's a lot of turkey drives, and there are a lot of, food pantries and whatnot that people get involved with. I would have to say my top dogs of the week are the people that went beyond themselves to feed others, to help others, to care for others. That means a lot to me. And, what is life if you hoard? You should give to others where you can, and you should help out other people. So I would definitely say that to me those would be my top dogs of the week, are those that have taken the time to make sure that families are fed and people have a beautiful holiday. One thing that never goes out of style or loses its date is kindness and generosity, empathy, care, love, concern, just general humanity. And I applaud everybody that's done that. I think it's beautiful. So my other top dog of the week, because I do want to mention something else that is sports related. So I would say Tommy DeVito for getting his first victory in the NFL.
Big game for Tommy D.
Yes. So think about this. He made the team as an undrafted free agent, a rookie, made the team, third string quarterback. They could have brought somebody else in. They could have done something else. They let him be the starter, so they saw enough from him. And he has had to play his first 3 games in the NFL as a starter, all on the road. And he won the
full games, yeah.
Yeah, on the road. And where he
started. Technically, the Jets game was a home game.
Right, but he didn't start that game.
But he didn't start, yeah.
So
they didn't exactly let him do anything either.
No, they just had him on the ball.
I tell you what, I felt really bad for him that game. I really did.
For sure.
That was tough to watch. They literally refused to let him throw the football. Right. At least now they're letting him throw the ball. So give them credit for that.
And so, I definitely have to give it up to him for winning. And it's against the Commanders. I know they're not the strongest team out there, but he might have sealed the fate of Ron Rivera as a head coach at Washington. And I don't wish anything bad on anybody ever. I don't see Washington keeping Ron Rivera, but I obviously don't.
He'll finish the year.
I don't want anybody to get fired. I don't see them moving forward in the same. But that is definitely not me going, yeah, fire the guy. You're not going to hear that stuff on the show. So, yeah, I'm going to give it to Tommy DeVito as well. And Tommy was involved in a giving drive for Thanksgiving as well. So it kind of bonds the two together. But I know Lexi DeVito and his father, Tom, and a wonderful family. And I'm just happy for him, man. I mean, who would have thunk it? He believed, his family believed. And if you believe it, you can achieve it. There's something to be said about faith in God, faith in yourself, and putting the work in. And he did that. And now he's out there playing with house money. And I'm happy to see the fact that he got a victory. And I want nothing but the best for Tommy DeVito. So super
Don't
happy
forget,
for you,
though,
Tommy.
Don't forget, though, he and I have something in common.
Go ahead.
We're both still living at home.
That's very true.
He's the only starting quarterback in the NFL who still lives at home.
He's the only quarterback in the NFL who admitted that he lives at home. And so,
fair.
Which I would not. I wouldn't have done.
Didn't somebody who went in the first round
Yeah.
recently say like they still lived at home through like most of their first year?
I mean,
Like,
listen,
wasn't it Joe Burrow that said that?
it happens, and it's fine.
I mean, I'm not going to judge anybody for that.
All I'm saying,
you, but
hey, listen, I just wouldn't have
advertised it.
I wouldn't have. Yeah, I wouldn't have been like, hey, my mom does my laundry. She cooks for me. Why am I going to leave? She makes my bed. Like that to me is like, don't, I mean, I've been around Lexi and they're an Italian family. And so, I mean, Tommy is very spoiled, but I mean, hey, kudos to him. He is who he is. So live your life, Tommy, do your thing.
It's Italian families. They like to stick together.
It is, and I feel like if I told my mom like, hey, I'm going to live in your house forever, she'd be like, cool. But, to me, I got my own house and wanted to have my own life and my privacy and all of that. So TD, much love to you and much love to the family. You are my top dog of the week because you did what many considered the impossible, and you did it by believing in yourself, surrounding yourself with positivity. And I'm just super proud of you. And I believe you have a faith. So, rock out because God's looking out for sure. Avicoli's, located on the corner of Route 57 and Wetzel Road in Liverpool, New York, has been your trusted neighbor for decades. Located just steps from Liverpool High School, we're happy to have the Liverpool Warriors on-site, on-location broadcast at Avicoli's through Wake Up Call with Dan Tortora every single month, featuring student athletes, coaches, and administration throughout the year from Liverpool High School. Head out to Avicoli's today on the corner of Route 57 and Wetzel Road in Liverpool, New York, open Tuesday through Sunday for lunch, dinner, and drinks. We'd love to see you out there. And of course, you can call them at 315-622-5100 for takeout, delivery, and catering. That's 315-622-5100. And also find them on myavicolis.com. That's myavicollis.com. Having peace of mind when you're out of town that your furry-loving friend is safe and sound means taking them to Canine Kampground, because we all know that when it comes to the love of our pets, it goes well beyond the call of duty to make sure they're safe and sound. Right, Lily? So take a ride to 242 Johnson Street in East Syracuse, New York, and see Canine Kampground and where your dog will be staying, in the classic cabin, the executive cabin, the grand cabin, or of course the luxury cabin, because if you know Lily, you know she loves luxury. Now you don't have to wait to the last minute to find a family member or a friend that'll take your dog for a few days. Call Canine Kampground at 315-299-4013. That's 315-299-4013. Their drop-off and pickup times are Monday through Sunday. Check K9Kampground.com for more information. That's the letter K, the number 9, and Kampground spelled with a K.com. K9Kampground.com.
When you're going out of town, bring your dog to Canine Campground.
PB&J's Lunchbox, the food truck that you love finding all throughout Central and Upstate New York, now has a street-side cafe. So when you're craving their traditional favorites as well as their out-of-box amazing menu items, you can now head to 663 Old Liverpool Road in Liverpool, New York. Located just minutes from the highway, the Thruway, Destiny USA, and Onondaga Lake Parkway, PB&J's Lunchbox Street-Side Cafe is there for you Monday through Saturday from 9 a.m. to 7 p.m., serving breakfast, lunch, and dinner all throughout the day. Get breakfast for dinner, dinner for lunch, whatever you fancy, including their award-winning grilled peanut butter and jelly sandwich. Find them at 663 Old Liverpool Road in Liverpool, New York. PB&J's Lunchbox, where we love to know what's in your lunchbox.
If I had to describe it, I would like to say welcoming and kind of homey. Like, I feel home when I'm here.
Here's a special message from North Star Nutrition in North Syracuse and Nutrition Wave in Cicero on their very unique shakes and teas.
I always ask them, are you looking for a shake or a tea? Like, are you hungry or do you need a little bit of a pick-me-up? And then from there, I normally gear it towards whichever they prefer. So I say we offer full meal replacement shakes. They're 24 grams of protein, 21 vitamins and minerals. So the vitamins and minerals in that shake make it a full meal. And you'll stay full for about 4 or 5 hours. And if they want a tea, then I'll tell them that there's either 115 to 200 milligrams of caffeine. I would compare it to maybe 2 cups of coffee, and I explain all the benefits that are in the tea. Like, they have B vitamins to sustain your energy all day long. They have a tea for mental clarity and focus. They have a thermogenic tea to help boost your metabolism, burn calories. Aloe is great for nutrient absorption and digestion. And I say there's other flavors in it for the pretty colors and flavors. I always ask them, like, what's your favorite lollipop flavor? And then I'll go from there, and I'm like, well, believe it or not, there's less than a gram of sugar and it's good for you. The shakes, I say it's like your favorite candy bar or your favorite ice cream because you've had them. It genuinely does not taste like a regular protein shake. This was the first yes that I've ever given because I've always been like too shy or too scared to like talk to people or anything, and this just kind of really opened me up. I've stayed here so long because I just love seeing everybody's faces, having them like sit down at the bar and just telling us little tidbits about their life. You really have no idea what's going on in other people's life, and I feel like this job specifically really puts it into perspective and just kind of helps you enjoy other people's presence. As like a young adult and as a person, I have learned so much working here. Like, to me, it's way more than just shakes and teas.
For healthy drinks that taste amazing in a welcoming atmosphere, head to North Star Nutrition on 628 South Main Street in North Syracuse and Nutrition Wave on 6197 State Route 31 in Cicero. Open 7 days a week at each location. So with that being said, now Murph and I are going to jump into a bunch of other pieces. Thanks to Top Dog of the Week, proudly presented by Canine Camp Dog Daycare and Canine Kampground Dog Boarding. If you're out there right now shopping on Black Friday, what's up, people? You know what? Turn us up right now. I'll yell at somebody. Excuse me. Excuse me. I was in front of you. No, I was in front of you. No, I was in front of you. No, you got to get to the back of the line. I mean, we could do whatever we got to do. Here, I can make a really annoying sound to make them get out of line. I could be like, oh my gosh, did you know that there was rats in the bathroom? So whatever we need to do to get you to the front of the line, trying to get you to the end of the line at Best Buy, get you through Target, Walmart, whatever you're doing, let's just make it happen. Let's get you there so you can get home and relax. And we're so happy to be here with you today, because whether you're just listening with it in your pocket or you're watching us, happy holiday season and happy Thanksgiving again. And also happy Black Friday. I go out on Black Friday, so this is something that I will do today. Murph, are you a Black Friday shopper? I just like going to like a few places just to do it. I don't know what it is, but it's like I just go by myself. It's a tradition for me. Do you go out or no?
Well, I mean, technically I work on Fridays, so, you know, being the fact that I'm working today, I'm not planning on going out at all. But typically most of my Black Friday shopping gets done beforehand.
Yeah.
Whether it be online or in the stores, you know, it is what it is. I remember when the PS4 first came out, I think it was the year after it first came out, I got it in a pre-Black Friday sale, which at the time was, you didn't really know that was a thing.
Yeah.
A week before Black Friday, and I got a deal on it. So that was pretty cool. But now it's, I don't even know what, I got some stuff I got to get. I got to find some Christmas gifts for the guys at work. I got to find some Christmas gifts for mom and dad. I got to find some Christmas gifts for my brother, my sister, my nieces. So I'll probably be, considering I don't really have many lessons today, I'll probably be, periodically popping on like Amazon or, Walmart.com and seeing if there's anything that, might be worth getting for them.
Yeah.
But we'll see. I'm still, I am notorious for waiting until the last minute to buy stuff in terms of gifts. So chances are I'll probably not buy anything until like December 23rd, naturally.
Okay.
So we'll see. We'll see what happens there. I go out on Christmas Eve going shopping a lot. Just like, sorry, Mom, if you can hear this, but like Mother's Day, a lot of times.
Don't say it. She can hear it.
I'll often go out in the morning and get her. Well, I'll get her flowers and everything. I'll wake up early and go get flowers and stuff in the morning. Most of the time.
Yeah.
Because usually, like, I'll have something already for her, but I usually don't get the flowers till the morning of. 2 reasons. One, make them an extra day, fresher.
Yeah.
And 2, where am I going to put them overnight? Like, I can't really use a vase because she's going to know they're there.
Yeah.
Even though, it's not really much of a surprise that I'm buying her flowers on Mother's Day, but,
See, my thing is my mom will be like, did you buy these today? Were you buying my card? Is that why you're late? And I have to like take the prices off of everything, pull things out. Like I have to make it look like this is the Italian family. I have to make it look like I didn't buy anything that day. I have to make it look like I had it prepared 3 months in advance and that there was nothing bought the day of. And I have to do all this stuff. Mom, I really hope you're not listening. But my mom, like,
hey, that's not nice. You want Mom to be listening.
No, my mom always listens. But the thing is like, if I'm sitting in my car and I get the flowers that day, by the way, I have an excuse because I'm allergic to pollen. But if I so I don't even want them in my house because if they're in my house, they have to be in a closet locked. Like they can't be anywhere that I walk because as soon as I walk by them, my allergies are like nothing. It's ridiculous. So if I get the flowers that day, then my mom is notorious for checking the price of everything. I don't know why she does it, but she always checks the price. So I have to take the price off of everything. But if I get her a bunch of stuff for Mother's Day and I get her flowers and I get her candy and I get her a card and I get her like, some gift, I sometimes will be putting this all together in my car. I will be putting this, I have tissue paper in the backseat of my car at all times so that I can do gifts any time of the year. Like I literally have Santa's workshop in my back seat. Nobody knows. Now they do. And so I will reach back there, grab some tissue paper, have a bag. I recycle bags all the time because, why would I want to buy one? And then I put the stuff in there and then I put all like the gifts and I take all the prices off, put all that in, write the card out. And it's while I'm in the car. And then I drive from wherever I am to go see my mom for dinner after I had put everything together. So am I a bad son or am I just a really good elf on Mother's Day? You know what I mean? So
you're a good elf. You're a good elf.
And so, and I also see my mom like all the time. So, you know what I mean? It's not like I'm like, oh, I see you for Mother's Day. Like I hang out with my mom very often and my dad, cause I love them both. So, that's the top.
I sent her
this
year for Mother's Day. I sent her to see Daughtry. I'm sure people remember Daughtry from American Idol and the band. And
yeah, I saw him.
I got her. Yeah, I got her tickets. I think she and my dad went in August, I think. It was like the week before our birthday or something like that. That was kind of a coincidence when it was. But she loved it. She had a great time. That was one of the more fun presents I got her. I also, a couple of years ago, got her tickets to Chris Stapleton. and I went with her for that. That was, if you've never seen Chris Stapleton in show, do it. That was such an amazing show. He is so good. He is almost better in person than he is on the radio. He needs no auto-tune.
Yeah.
What you heard at the Super Bowl, first of all, the greatest rendition of the national anthem I have ever heard. Chris Stapleton at the Super Bowl. I don't want to hear about Whitney Houston. That was the single greatest national anthem I have ever heard in my life. But he is
many
that
people
good.
just shut the show off because you attacked Whitney Houston.
I listen, nothing against Whitney Houston.
Happy Thanksgiving, everyone.
Phenomenal.
Whitney Houston is trash. Rest in peace. Thank you, Murph. Like, don't.
Whitney Houston was phenomenal.
There it is. I'm gonna cut out everything else. We're just gonna, in the moment, just take that out. You know,
Just take that
Chris
out.
Stapleton is awesome. Don't need to say anything else. To have nothing else to say. Whitney Houston, take a back seat. Okay, trash, garbage. Anyways, next topic. And you can't do that. You gotta Whitney. I mean, to some people, Whitney Houston's rendition of the national anthem, like, didn't that sell? Wasn't that like a top record or something ridiculous?
So here's the thing.
Yeah, go ahead.
They are 1A, 1B.
Okay.
Changeable. For me, it's Chris Stapleton. For somebody else, it could be Whitney.
Okay.
No one else comes close.
Yeah.
Those two, everybody else.
Mine is.
I feel bad. I don't know who's singing the national anthem this year, but
Yeah.
I feel bad for whoever that is, having to follow up Chris Stapleton last year.
My top two would be Sanjaya from American Idol and Snuffleupagus from Sesame Street. Those would be my two fantastic Muppet characters. No, I'm kidding. So anyways, Sanjaya, much love. And just kidding. I'm just having a good time. So
We always have a good time.
we always do. I'm so triggered. And
We may not be here for a long time, but we're here for a good time.
Yeah,
That's for sure.
Yeah, we're definitely here to have fun. Someone's sitting here right now and the phone was in their pocket and they're standing in line and they're like, did those guys just mention on a sports show Sanjaya? Like Dan remembered Sanjaya? Yeah, I did.
Are you going to yell at me? And I have absolutely
I know you have no
idea
idea who he is. And you know
I
what?
have no idea who that is.
Brendan, you are all the better because of it. Your brain cells are more preserved than mine because of that. Sanjaya was, you don't have to know. And it's okay.
All right. I don't need to know then.
No, it's like certain things that I found out about Osama bin Laden and like things he had in his house where I'm like, I didn't need to know that.
Don't want to know.
I don't want to know.
Don't want to know.
Him and Saddam Hussein both like Cheetos. Very strange. I also want to know how they got
Don't want to know.
So
all I know is both of them deserve to die and they are both dead. So, and I won't say that about very many people, but those two, I think most Americans can agree with the fact that Saddam Hussein and Osama bin Laden deserved everything they got.
Happy Thanksgiving. So
that's not even. What's funny is that's not even a political statement. Those are two just terrorists that have no business being on this earth anymore.
What I find funny is the juxtaposition, and I pray for everybody's soul, but the juxtaposition, because it's horrible to have that much evil, of watching a president say like we went somewhere and we apprehended somebody, and then listening to Trump do it. Like I saw the back and forth of those two, and so they have like.
Not gonna lie, not an Obama fan, but when you saw him walk up to the podium,
yeah.
Say that the United States of America has killed Osama bin Laden. Everyone in America just came together. That was one of the most powerful statements any president has ever given when we got him. And I remember I was watching the Mets-Phillies game. I think they were playing the Phillies. Shortly after, I pulled it up on my phone, I think, to see what he was saying. And the entire crowd just starts chanting USA, USA, because I think it was on a Sunday night. It was Sunday Night Baseball. And the whole crowd just starts chanting Mets fans, Phillies fans, everybody. And when the fans in the stadium and the players realized what was happening, it was like a scene from a movie. It was incredible. We almost need something like that to bring us back together. As bad as horrible as that is to say, we almost need something like that
I love how we went
to
from
bring us all back
I
together.
love you, Mom and Dad, to Whitney Houston's trash, to let's murder a terrorist so that we can get back together again. Happy Turkey Day. And I mean, it's like, but here's the thing. When you saw Barack Obama, like when he went, because of the juxtaposition, when he went up and he was like talking about somebody, he's like, we apprehended this guy, you know, he is in custody. And then Trump goes up and he's like, we totally got him. He died like a dog. And it's like, it's just like,
it wasn't the same. Oh,
but it's
Obama saying that about Osama bin Laden just hit different.
but
that was the ultimate. We're him. Like I'm him.
But
moment.
there's a thing, like there was like he was talking about somebody else, and I don't know who he was talking about, but he walked up and he said something like, we apprehended this guy. You know, Barack is, we apprehended this guy, going to stop him. We're going to get him. We got it. We've done it. We're proud. Thank you. And Trump's up there going, you can't walk through the front door. You got to go through the side door. I went through the side door, killed him, stabbed him in the face. He's dead now. Don't care. Died like a dog. A very hopeless, senseless, stupid dog. And you're like, wow.
You should. You should take Alec Baldwin's spot on. Well, actually, isn't he in jail right now for the gunshot going off on the set? But anyway, you should have done the Trump on SNL. That was better than Alec Baldwin.
Oh, thank you. I appreciate it. I also don't make my mouth look like a butthole when I do it. I don't know why Alec Baldwin does that. He doesn't do like that's not Trump. It's very like closed eyes and it's very handsy. You know, it's not Bernie handsy where it's like so high, because like Bernie Sanders is like, I got to take it down here and then I got to bring it up here. I got to tell you to do this and then do the way.
Oh my God, that's so good.
You know, but Trump is very like, Trump is he's, to me, he's running an orchestra because this is Trump. He lives here. He lives like, silent night, oh holy night. Everybody died in Afghanistan. I killed them. Thank you and good night. You know, like it's just a very happy day. Everyone's here. And then Bernie's up here and then Bernie's down there. So, you know, there's so much going on. And then Bill hits you right in the middle, and Bill just hits you with the gibberish
with our current president.
What'd you say?
Gibberish. Can we get some gibberish from our current president?
But do you want me to do my Joe Biden?
Yes, please. Mr. President, no words needed.
No words. But my bill is right in the middle. So Bernie's up here, and you know, Donald's right here, baby, for you. And then Bill is just, he's like that, bite that lip and hit that button, right? He's just changing. I'm gonna change the channel on you, baby. Right there, hit it right there. And so, you know, he's always like the charismatic, you know, he looks you right in the eye and goes, I did not have sexual relations with that woman. And then 2 weeks later, he's like, I was
waiting for you to say that.
Yeah,
I was waiting for you to say that.
2 weeks later, he looks right into the camera, same way, and he goes, check what I said. I actually did, but we're cool, baby, right? We're still friends. All right, let's do it. You know, and it's just like, he's always just kind of freaky. He's just right here, ready to groove. And so, you know, there's a lot of stuff going on. So all of this leads me to Zach Wilson is not the starting quarterback, and Aaron Rodgers, everyone's hoping that Aaron Rodgers comes back, just holding out hope. The Jets are not out of it, obviously, yet. And they have the first Black Friday game. So that's cool. Zach Wilson replaced by Tim Boyle. Trevor Siemian replaces Zach Wilson as a backup. And they're like, you would be below Aaron Rodgers right now, but he's hurt. So what are your thoughts on A, benching Zach Wilson, and B, not just benching him, but going, you're the third string. You're going from 1 to 2 you're not even touching 2. You're going from 1 to 3. You're going from the penthouse to the outhouse in a day. We're not even letting you stay in the guest house. What are your thoughts?
With him getting benched, And what's funny is this year my tone has really changed about him.
Yeah.
And I started to see the growth and he was starting to get better. He matured a lot in the offseason. I think Aaron helped him out with that a lot. And I kind of started to like him. I enjoyed watching him, but it got to the point where the fans have been calling for it for like 3 weeks. The only reason they didn't say anything after the Giants game is because they won. But you got to the point now where in the Buffalo game, he literally couldn't do a thing. Granted, offensive line, not helping. We're going to be on, I think, the 14th different offensive line combination in 10 games or 11 games or whatever the heck it is. It's
So
ridiculous.
so you're Syracuse.
Basically. But yeah, I wasn't surprised.
Yeah.
I was not at all surprised. And I was saying this my dad and I were watching the game last Sunday, and we're watching things unfold, and I'm kind of just at one point I said, I think it was in the second quarter when the game was still okay, like within reach.
Yeah.
I said, if Buffalo, if we don't score before halftime and Buffalo's got this lead, I think he's done. And it's not anything necessarily against Zach. It's just time.
Yeah.
It was time to make a change for change's sake. This whole run, not all his fault. The play calling's been atrocious. The offensive line play has been atrocious. Guys are not getting open. Now, are there things he did poorly? Absolutely.
Yeah.
He holds on to the ball too long. He takes stupid sacks. He's almost which is crazy for him, he's almost being a little too conservative at times. He's not running enough when he's got plenty of speed where he should be. So it was just time to change things up. And, not that Tim Boyle did anything special in his, quarter and a half that he played.
Mm-hmm.
But, a lot of what I saw from Tim Boyle at the end of that game was, snap, 1-2, boom, ball out. That's one thing I think will be a massive advantage to having Tim Boyle in there. Is he's going to get the ball out quickly. He has not been a great quarterback in the NFL. I believe he's 0-3 as a starter. So we'll see what happens with Miami. But I could very much see this turning into a Mike White situation. We've seen Mike White on multiple occasions go out there and just ball out.
Mm-hmm.
In the black jerseys, no less. So this could very much be a Mike White game. He just, makes the smart plays, gets the ball out quickly. I could see it very much being a Mike White game. And now I'm not gonna sit here for a second and say they're gonna win this game, because I don't expect them to. I think they're like 7 or 8 point underdogs. But you never know. With that change, something could spark. It could spark the team, and we saw what happened with the Raiders when they got rid of Josh McDaniels. Excuse me. When they got rid of Josh McDaniels and Antonio Pierce took over as interim head coach, they rattled off 2 straight wins.
And who's their quarterback? The guy that I told you would play in the NFL, Aiden O'Connell from Purdue, rookie.
Yeah, solid player.
He's a good player.
Your boy from Cincy is finally going to get to start again. I don't know how that's going to pan out, but I think I think it's pretty much over for him, unfortunately. They're going to be looking for a quarterback this offseason. Actually, let me rephrase that. They're going to be looking for a new everything.
See, but they're
going to be looking for a new GM, looking for a new quarterback, because their head coach is awful.
But that's still Atlanta.
Smith has been brutal.
Atlanta's been doing this for a while now. Atlanta, really, arguably since Jamal Anderson and the Dirty Bird.
They're not using their weapons.
They've been doing but the thing is,
I don't get that.
They've been doing. They've been doing this forever. They've been doing this for a really, 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 really long time. Like Matt Ryan has a good moments, and Julio Jones.
He always used Julio. He always used Roddy White.
Yeah.
They refused to throw the ball to Kyle Pitts. They refused to throw the ball to Drake London. They will not throw the ball to them. It's Jonnu Smith. It's Cordero Patterson. It's whoever else, no-name receiver under the sun. They refuse to throw to their top 2 playmakers. Bijan struggling because they won't feed him the ball like an every down back.
Yeah.
How do you have 3 world skill position players still suck?
I'm feeling you.
He's not the answer. Desmond Ritter's not the answer. Arthur Smith's going to be gone at the end of the year. They're probably going to be looking for a new GM at the end of the year too. Start over. Keep those guys or trade those guys, whatever you want to do. Kyle Pitts is probably going to be, you got to figure out his 5th-year option if you're going to pick it up. I don't know if they're going to.
I would trade him.
I would too.
I would trade him.
Still going to haul for him. He's a ridiculous talent.
Yeah. I would trade him more for his
One of
sake.
the greatest.
I would trade him more for his sake. I mean, I would. I would let him
I don't know
go.
if they would do that though. I don't know if they're the type of organization to do that.
But I mean, this is the thing with Atlanta. Okay, Atlanta has not had a defense in a long time. They had a defense a while ago. There was a time, a couple seasons where Matt Ryan had a defense, and the Dirty
Bird
happened.
Super Bowl.
The Dirty Bird happened. Jamal Anderson got injured, tore his ACL after that, and then he was never the same. He disappeared. Then there was this dual-headed backfield, and it was working out for a while, and then that didn't work out. And toward the last couple of years of Matt Ryan, they brought in Todd Gurley from the Rams, and that didn't even work out for a full season, and it's been kind of off. But Atlanta's been falling here, and the question was, how long are you going to hold on to Matt Ryan? Like, how long are you going to keep this going? Roddy White's gone, Julio Jones is gone, Devontae Freeman is gone. How long are you going to hold on to this Matt Ryan thing? And then they eventually let Matt Ryan go, but they didn't have a contingent. They didn't have a plan. See, they haven't had a defense in a long time, but they've had an offense, but they didn't have a plan. They didn't have a plan.
Of course they had a plan. They had Desmond Ridder.
But to me, that wasn't
a plan.
It's a plan.
We know that.
It's a plan. That. It's a plan. It's not the plan. Like they should have been prepared for Matt Ryan 2 years in advance. And this is where a lot of teams struggle. The San Antonio Spurs with David Robinson prepared themselves with Tim Duncan, and they crossed each other. Brett Favre, they prepared themselves with the Packers with Aaron Rodgers. You look at the Jaguars and you say, okay, Mark Brunell and Trevor Lawrence. Blake Bortles he was second to Mark Brunell in a lot of categories, and he did a lot more with less and got them to the precipice to the gate of the Super Bowl, just like Mark Brunell did. And here's Trevor Lawrence, who hasn't done that yet, but there was so much time in between. And for Chicago, there's so much time in between. There's certain teams that just weren't ready, and it's hard, right? It's the Green Bay Packers are dealing with it right now. And I told people this. I said, listen, you have had the same you've had 2 quarterbacks for like 3 decades, and having Brett Favre and having Aaron Rodgers, you have to understand as a Green Bay Packers fan, like you're going to Jordan Love is different. He's not going to take over and be electrifying. I don't see it. So you're going to have to give him time, and you might give him a couple of years, 2-3 years, and then you're going to get rid of him and you're going to get somebody else. But the thing about Green Bay is they got Brett Favre. They didn't draft him. They picked him up, and then they get Aaron Rodgers, and then they didn't have a plan after that. And you look at
Jordan Love was their plan. It just hasn't really panned out.
What I'm saying is they didn't. There's teams that hit. I shouldn't say they don't have a plan. Everybody has a plan, right? Justin Fields was the plan of Chicago. So let me reword it. They did not have a plan that I like. They did not have a good plan. They did not have a plan that was maybe as thought through. And granted, you're going to hit some, you're going to miss some, but there's teams that just don't have that. They don't make that right decision. And Atlanta was falling into, and I was saying it when Matt Ryan was still playing, I was like, okay, does he have 3 years left? Does he have 2 years left? Does he have 1 year left? What is your plan? And when they let him go in the offseason, they're like, okay, cool, like be gone. There wasn't a good, like, this is good. Like Desmond, I told people it's going to take a couple years. He's in year 2. I told him it's going to take a couple of years. There was no transition there, and there's no defense. And I have to be honest about this. It doesn't matter what Desmond Ridder does and that team does offensively. Their defense is non-existent. Arizona's defense is non-existent. The Giants defense is non-existent. The Commanders defense is non-existent. There's teams out there that just don't have defense, and they're going to blame Desmond Ridder, but I think Atlanta has fallen into the reality that they did not make a lot of good decisions, and all of those decisions have attacked them. Do I think Desmond Ridder is going to be their quarterback for a decade? No. But do I think that Desmond Ridder should have gotten into a better situation in Atlanta? Like, you can't say if Desmond Ridder was better, the whole team would be better, because Atlanta has no defense. And he's got a ton of talented guys. He really does. So you're like, well, how does he not get the ball out to him, this, that, and the third? And that's a fair point. But
I kind of disagree with that, though.
what are his coaches? I don't think Atlanta has a defense.
Terrible. That's what they are.
I don't feel threatened by Atlanta in any game at all. Not at all.
I am in 2 weeks. I'm not worried about them at all.
Right.
At
That's
all.
what I'm saying.
At all.
But that's what I'm saying.
But here's
they don't
the
have
thing.
defense.
Desmond Ridder, he was 4th round pick, right?
Third.
4th, 5th, 3rd. Okay. When you're a middle round pick in the NFL as a quarterback, and you're given an opportunity to start, the leash is short.
Right.
You do not have a particularly long leash. It's not like he was a 1st round pick. So if, let's just say Desmond Ridder was what Zach Wilson was, pick number 2 overall, they'd have given him all the chances in the world to be successful. As a 3rd round pick, they're not good. But it is. I mean, there's so many other guys that we've seen. Like, I'll give you one example.
Yeah.
Hackenberg was a 2nd round pick for the Jets. He was so bad they cut bait with him, and he didn't even play in an NFL game. Guys that picked in rounds 3, 4, 5 don't get much leash. Realistically, Brock Purdy, Tom Brady, Dak Prescott, these guys are an anomaly. Took their chance and ran with it.
Yeah.
If you don't take advantage of your opportunity as a mid-round pick in the NFL, you're going straight to the bench and you're never going to see the field again. Basically how it works.
Well, here's the thing. They didn't have a plan that was a good enough plan. They just didn't.
Correct.
They didn't have a good enough plan. They didn't have a bridge. They didn't have anybody to teach Desmond. See, if they were thinking of this ahead of time, you keep Matt and you do what like Tannehill's doing right now. He's trying to teach Will Levis. Like, you try to, and it's going to take time, but you teach. You have the opportunity to say, okay, I'm going to teach. Chad Henne did it with Blake Bortles. Then he did it with Pat Mahomes. Like, there's this transitionary thing, and quarterbacks don't need to be, or anybody in any position, they don't have to be the greatest at that position. They can understand it. Like, Chad Henne could describe the game great and be a great coach to Blake Bortles, but maybe he doesn't have the output of it, because that's the thing where people don't understand. You could be a 4th string quarterback in college, but that doesn't mean you couldn't be one of the best quarterback coaches in the nation. So, because it's how you understand the game, and it's how you spread the wealth, spread the knowledge. It's how you describe things. It's how you understand things. Can you be on the cutting edge of certain stuff? When it comes to Atlanta, people are frustrated because Kyle Pitts is not getting the ball like Jonnu Smith is. Bijan, his numbers aren't bad, but he's also still a rookie. And Drake London doesn't have a true number 2 to help him out. He has Kyle Pitts, who's like the other guy. But what I'm saying in Atlanta is they're not great anywhere. It's not like they have a really good offense. They have weapons, but the Patriots, I don't think they have any weapons. Maybe Hunter Henry. That's it. Like, there's certain teams that I think have no weapons. But there's Arizona, where I think Kyler Murray's better than some, and he has James Conner and he has Hollywood Brown, but Arizona is not a threat to anybody. So do you move on from Kyler Murray? Kyler Murray's better than Desmond Ridder, in my opinion, but neither one of them
Hey,
is doing anything they
Kyler-
really have.
Kyler Murray was also a Heisman Trophy winner and a number 1 overall pick.
Right. But the Heisman
They're
Trophy used to
two
be the kiss of
complete-
death to some
It
people.
used to be. It's not anymore.
So it depends on who gets it. But I mean,
Because I think because realistically, the Heisman Trophy has become more of the best overall player. They're not just giving it to the best running quarterback or to the best quarterback on the best team. Because realistically, Tim Tebow wasn't successful because his game didn't translate to the NFL. Robert Griffin III wasn't successful in part because of a knee injury, but his game didn't translate quite as well to the NFL the way somebody like Joe Burrow does, the
Yeah.
way somebody like Kyler Murray, well, not as much Kyler Murray. Kyler Murray is not as good as, obviously not as good as Joe Burrow. But Lamar Jackson's probably the exception to that. He's the exception, not the rule. He's come into the NFL and he's been great.
see, but I was high on him when he was at Louisville.
I've said this for years. I've always thought he was a poor man's Michael Vick. I still kind of think that because he really doesn't have anywhere near the arm talent that Michael Vick had. But Michael Vick, people forget, Michael Vick could sling it.
Yeah.
As much as he might have been an absolutely horrible human being, my God, could that dude sling it. He could throw it 60 yards in the air without even trying. He has just as much arm talent as anybody to ever play the quarterback position, and he's the greatest runner in the history of the position. I don't want to hear Lamar. I don't want to hear Cam Newton. Michael Vick is the person you think of when you think of a running quarterback. Michael Vick in Madden 2004 was a unit.
Yeah.
You literally
I agree.
could not stop him. It's like Bo Jackson in which game was that? Tecmo Bowl. It's like Bo Jackson in Tecmo Bowl. You literally can't stop it. It's not fair. That's how good he was. But none of these guys now have that same, like Lamar doesn't have the same arm talent. He can run as well as Vic did.
Yeah.
Same arm talent. He can't make passes in a tight window. He can't throw the ball 70 yards on the fly without really trying. It's a different league. It really is.
So here's the thing. Do I think, to go back to Desmond Ridder for a second, do I think that Desmond Ridder was the long-term answer for Atlanta? No, but I think that Desmond Ridder was not put in a place where he had somebody to learn from.
Oh, yeah.
And I think that Desmond Ridder he's not in a place where I think he was going to learn and excel. If Desmond Ridder, and I'm not saying that Desmond Ridder, he was going to be the next, Pat Mahomes. I'm not saying that at all. I'm saying if Desmond Ridder had Ryan Tannehill, if Desmond Ridder had Aaron Rodgers, if Desmond Ridder had Brett Favre, it's a different time. It would be a different thing. There was nobody there. I mean, it was like, hey, Desmond, you got to be the guy. Trevor Lawrence, when he came in, he had to be it. But we have to go back in history and look at reality.
But he's also Trevor Lawrence. He's also arguably the greatest prospect to come out of college football since Peyton Manning.
But we go back and we say Ryan Leaf was considered one of the best, right? Considered one of the best. He was considered one of the best. Peyton Manning considered one of the best, both coming in. Peyton Manning had a horrendous rookie year. The team was atrocious, and they had to give him time. And when people flipped out and said, oh my gosh, Dan, look at Trevor Lawrence. Oh, is he going to be okay? And I said, Peyton Manning, case closed. Let's move on. But Ryan Leaf never panned out. Jamarcus Russell, number 1 pick, never panned out. They gave him time.
Jamarcus Russell also kind of didn't care.
But
he took his money and just didn't care about playing quarterback.
He never panned out. Then there's a guy like Aiden O'Connell who was chosen over Jimmy Garoppolo, who's been to 2 Super Bowls. He was chosen over Jimmy as a rookie out of Purdue. So what it comes down to is you got to get in the right place. You got to have the right coaches. You got to have the right teachers. You got to have the right work ethic. You got to have the right nutrition. You got to have the right regimen. You have to be in a place that allows you to grow, and you have to be in a place where the offensive line can protect you. That's a huge part. The offensive line has to be able to protect you. One of the most egregious party fouls of the NFL is David Carr. Derek Carr's older brother, David, went to the Houston Texans. He got sacked 91, I think, or 92 times as a rookie. We never saw who David Carr could be because he had like 0.5 seconds to throw the ball. We never saw if he was talented. We look at Derek, but if David had a line in front of him, does his career end as soon as it did? So, I mean, these are the things that I ask. I'm not saying that Desmond Ridder is the end-all, be-all. I'm saying Desmond Ridder in the league could be an equator guy or a little bit above the equator guy, but is he in the right place? Does he have the right offensive line? Does he have the right coaches? Does he have the right tutelage? I'm not going to blame Desmond Ridder, but I'm also going to say this too. I'm not going to blame him for everything. Some of it is his fault, but not all of it is his fault. Here's the thing that really frustrates me though. He came in with so much hype and I don't know why. Because he didn't get respect.
I don't get that.
But he didn't get respect. I covered him. I spent time in Cincinnati. I flew to Cincinnati. I went to Nippert Stadium. I was face-to-face with him. I was Zooming calls with him. I actually covered Desmond Ridder. When he was drafted, I was the one that was high on him. I was the one that was talking about him. I was the one saying him over Malik Willis. I continuously was talking about Desmond Ridder behind Kenny Pickett. Desmond Ridder. There's something here. There's something here in Cincinnati. I looked at his numbers and what he did and all this stuff.
Well, he was drafted before Malik Willis, right? Malik Willis went in the 4th round?
He was. And Cincinnati didn't get their respect. The Cincinnati Bearcats didn't get the respect because they played in the American, which was BS. And Desmond
When did they go
Ridder.
to the Big 12? Is it next year?
They went to no, it was after he had left. He wasn't there. They went this year.
Well,
so he was already gone. It was a couple
they're
years
in the
later.
Big 12 now.
They're in the Big 12 now.
I didn't think they went yet. I didn't think that was still next year.
No, they went.
Okay.
So Cincinnati didn't get the respect. So here I am thinking like, okay, the Cincinnati beat people cover him. I cover him. And how many other people are talking about Desmond? How many people know about Desmond? And here's Desmond Ridder, and I'm saying to myself, this guy's got something in the tank. He's got something to give. He's a guy who never says die. He's not going to give up on a team. He's going to go out there and he's going to fight. But it takes time, and he has to be in a good situation. I didn't expect Desmond Ridder to be an elite quarterback in the NFL. I didn't expect him to be a top 5 or a top 10 quarterback in the NFL. And when he went to Atlanta, I was like, he needs time. So
they're failing him, though.
His mistakes?
That team is failing him.
Right. But that's the thing, is the hype that was around him. I didn't understand it because there wasn't hype around him when I was covering him, unless you were in Cincinnati or in the American Athletic. But there wasn't hype. It didn't feel like there was hype nationally. And then you go to buy one of his cards, and he's like the number 2 quarterback out there for like prices of cards. And you're sitting here saying to yourself, why is all this hype? And the hype was way too high for him to meet it. And I don't think that it was fair to him. I don't think it was fair at all to him. Like Trevor Lawrence came in with the hype because Trevor Lawrence barely lost in high school, barely lost in college. The man won championships in high school, won championships in college. He knew, like when Trevor came in, he understood like where he was at. But Desmond Ridder to have like similar hype in value of his memorabilia to Trevor,
you know why
crazy
it is?
To me. It didn't make sense.
It's because people speculate.
Yeah, but the speculation,
they want to find the guy.
It should have been
not going for all that much.
Stroud.
Yes, CJ Stroud.
But when I first
granted, there haven't been a whole lot of CJ Stroud's cards because of the whole Panini thing. So
but you think about
it's really just Mosaic that's out there right now.
I got these right here. Where are they? So I have these.
So I have a couple of those too.
So I have CJ Stroud,
and they're worth like $2 a piece.
And here's the thing. So I have these 2 cards, and I also had a chrome, like really nice looking one. And I just did a card show at the Wildcat Sports Pub, GG Cards and Breaks, trade night on the road. And my CJ Stroud, my other one, was in the case. And I had a bunch of cards I liked from this guy. And he was like, what do you want for the CJ Stroud? And he's like, I'll give you all 4 cards that you want for the CJ Stroud. And I was like, that's my favorite CJ Stroud. I don't know. And what he ended up doing is he ended up packaging, and I got a CJ Stroud in the deal. I got CJ Stroud rookie card in the deal. So I still got CJ, and he threw money in because I was like, you know what? If I'm going to give up this card, I want the cards that I picked, and I want money. but I had originally picked out an Ahmad Sauce Gardner. I think it was a leaf because there was no logo. It was an Ahmad Sauce Gardner signature, and I wanted it. And he took that out of the deal. And when he took that out of the deal, I'm like, well, that's the card I wanted more than anything else. So if we're going to do CJ Stroud, then, I'm getting a CJ Stroud in return, which is an insert and it's a rookie, and I got some money. So I'm okay with that. But CJ Stroud is like, it's not that high, right? There's certain guys out there that are like, meh, maybe Tank Dell's going up, but Stroud is
Tank Dell is going way up.
So, but Stroud is here where he could be rookie of the year, right? So Stroud is not getting that love, but Bijan came in with massive hype. And so maybe that's what pushed the hype for Desmond, because Desmond's his quarterback. I mean, it's like when we when you look at speculation
for Desmond Ritter for this year, more to do with the fact that people were looking for that one guy from that 2022 draft class that was going to take that next step as a starter. And Kenny Pickett was already starting. We kind of already saw he was
Yeah.
Malik Willis was not starting. Most of these other guys were not starting. Desmond Ritter was. They're looking for that next guy. And if anybody watches the Sports Card Investor on YouTube, he got clowned because he made a trade at the National. It was a Shohei Ohtani rookie auto for a one-of-one Desmond Ritter. It was like valued at $8,000 or something like that. Like, how are you going to tell me you're going to do a speculative trade like that when you got Shohei Ohtani, who's going to win the MVP, sitting right in front of you? Like, that made no sense.
But that's the thing. I don't buy into that.
But he got killed, and rightfully so, about that. Go ahead and make that deal. I'm like, are you on drugs? Like, I get you're a Falcons fan and you like Desmond Ritter, but are you on drugs? Like, that lost almost $30,000 in value on those two cards. On that card, and then he had another one-of-one Desmond Ritter. Yeah. And he doubled down on him. I'm like, when I first saw the video, I'm like, dude, you're nuts. Like, I wouldn't touch Desmond Ritter with a 10-foot pole. I told people that for almost a year.
But that's why
I'm like, it's got nothing to do with, it's like, he's not going to be that good.
But that's why when I was with you, I was negotiating. That's why when I was with you, I'm like, I'm not paying $70 for his card, because I was like, I thought I was the only one. I'm like, there's going to be me and two other people looking for a Desmond Ritter autograph. There's not. To me, I'll give you 20, 30 bucks. I'm not giving you 90. I'm not giving you 100. But even as big as I am a fan of the Jaguars and Trevor Lawrence, when I go to a show and it's not a one-of-one and it's, it's a card and it's nice and the patch is okay, but you're like 2,700, 2,200, kick rocks, bro. Like, no, I mean, you're not going to take advantage.
The thing is, that's what they're worth. Like,
but they're not. Those were not worth.
But that's what people have paid for them.
But they didn't. I don't think anybody touched his collection. I think that was stupid. I mean, I remember the one guy we went to the show. There was a guy that when I asked him the question about, I said, "Hey, how much do you want for this Trevor Lawrence rated rookie?" And he was looking down. He looked at my jersey, and I was wearing Jaguars. He looked at my jersey, and then he looked up at me, and he tried to give me some BS deal. And I'm sitting here going, because I'm wearing a Jaguars jersey and I like Trevor Lawrence, you think I'm stupid. Like, I know what I would value this thing at, and I'm going to respect it. And I understand you might want to make some money, but there's a level of, this is what I want, and this is what I'll take. And then there's this level of, I'm pricing it out to the point where I'm never going to sell it, because you're going to screw somebody over. And my thing is, when I'm selling a card, I don't want, like, it's like I make money and then I'm like, haha, I screwed you over. No, I don't want to do that to somebody. Absolutely not. I want to be fair.
But at the same time, you've got to look out for yourself, though.
You do, but you have to be fair. There's the difference of, I spent $4 on this card and it's worth 50 and I'm selling it for 70, or I spent $4 on this card and I'm selling it for 150 and this person gave me 120 for this $4 card. that they're going to go home. My thing is gut. If you go to your car and I sold you a $4 card for $200, I've been in positions before where people have tried to swindle stuff, and I don't respect it. And unfortunately, that's happened this year. I went to go do a deal with somebody and I looked at their stuff and they lied to my face. And if you lied to my face, I don't care if you tell me it's $1. I don't care if you pay me to take the card. If you lie to my face, I'm not buying it. And I know that it's speculation and it's this, that, and whatever, but it's like, be reasonable, right? When I'm online and the prices are $300, $370, $400, $550, $1,000, $720, and you're charging $2,700, kick rocks. I'm not paying that money. I'm not paying double the price of the most expensive card that I found. It's not a 1-of-1. It's not a tricolor patch. Some people come up to you, they don't even have a Trevor Lawrence rookie, and they're like, hey, here's an autograph, but it's not a rookie card. How much? $800. Go home. You got to be fair. And the Desmond Ridder thing never made any sense to me because it was so high that somebody like me, who's just a fan because I've interviewed him and I respect him, I'm sitting here going like, I'm not buying these cards for $200. I'll give you $30. And to me, it was just way too much. You have to be, I understand everybody wants to make money, but you and I both know we're fair. But there's people, you go to not everybody's fair. Not everybody looks at it
you're right.
in a place of
You're
fairness.
right.
Some people look at it like I charged you too much and you paid for it. Go screw yourself. I got your money. Ha ha ha. And I don't do that. I'm going to look at it and I'm going to make a fair deal. And I trust my gut. Have I made good deals before? Yeah. Have I made deals before? I'm like, oh my gosh, why did I do that? But I made a deal with a Kobe Bryant card that was worth $300 at the time, $250 at the time for 2 Damon Stoudemire cards. I love Damon Stoudemire. I was like 12 years old, 13 years old. The kid took advantage of me, who was older than me. And he sold me $12 for $250, and the card went up to $450. And I had no idea. I was just like, you like Kobe, I like Damon. So in that world, there's stuff like that happens. But to me, I think that, I know there's people watching this going, hey, Dan, if you can get the money, get the money. And if you get screwed, well, that's your fault. Well, there needs to be some sense of morality in stuff like this. And the people that don't do business that way, I haven't been back in their store since I was a kid. I will never shop there, not because I hold a grudge, but because I value my money. And then there's other places where I'm like, okay, I want to pay 70. You got it at 100. You came down to 87. Okay. Do I want to pay 87? No. Do you want to get 100? Yeah. So we work together. And I think you got to do that. But CJ Stroud, if he's under Desmond Ridder, like there's just some things that don't make sense to me.
I guarantee he's not. He's surpassed him by now.
He should.
Hi, this is Amy from Mother's Cupboard, home of the whole frittata. We are open daily 6 a.m. to 1:30 p.m. For takeout orders, call 315-432-0942 and tune in to Wake Up Call with Dan Tortora for our monthly food challenge and try our Wake Up Call signature menu item available 7 days a week. Here at Mother's Cupboard, we are Central New York, and it's our honor to serve you.
Ma&Pa's Kettle Corn and Popcorn Factory remind us that every day is worth celebrating at 201 7th North Street in Liverpool, New York. Open Monday through Saturday in-store and always online at MON-FRI.com. Serving our Central New York community and beyond, order anywhere, anytime at MON-FRI.com. Stop in to get a tin at Ma&Pa's on 201 7th North Street in Liverpool, New York to get your half-price refills for the rest of your life. Come to Ma&Pa's for your holiday gift giving for family, friends, employees, and clients. And remember, for fundraising and events, to call 315-450-6272. That's 315-450-6272. Ma&Pa's Kettle Corn and Popcorn Factory. How corny are you?
This is Jimmer Sikowski, owner-operator of Chick-fil-A Cicero, 7916 Brewerton Road in Cicero, right in front of the Home Depot. I had a deep feeling that God wanted me to do something bigger with my life and to help people, help others. I kept putting Chick-fil-A in my life, and I realized as I was going through the franchise selection process that positively impacting the lives of others was really core to what we do here at Chick-fil-A. First of all, it starts with the food. The food is brought in fresh daily. We bring in local produce. We prepare it to order in the kitchen. We hand bread our chicken. We hand spin our milkshakes. It's great food. It doesn't taste like fast food. I think the second thing is the way people feel when they come in a Chick-fil-A restaurant. It's different. We try to treat people with intentional kindness here, which is very different and deeper than good customer service. And so I think it feels remarkable for most people to come in a Chick-fil-A restaurant. And then lastly, the impact that we try to have in the community is very different. It's a big part of the expectation of every operator of a Chick-fil-A restaurant is that they're actively engaged in their community, they're a leader in the community, and they're making a difference. When they realize that what we're striving to do is to shine a little light in their life, that's a very, very different experience than you will have in any other quick service restaurant. And it's that remarkable experience that I think people will emotionally connect with.
Wake Up Call with Dan Tortora is the exclusive multimedia marketing partner of your Lemoyne College Dolphins. Tune in on Wednesdays at 9 a.m. Eastern Time for Dolphin Time, first and third Wednesday of each month with AD and DT featuring Athletics Director Bob Beretta and myself, Dan Tortora. Every second and fourth Wednesday, you'll find the Dolphin Dive, diving into the stories of student athletes, coaches, administration, future Dolphins, and alumni. All of our content with the Dolphins can be found by subscribing to our YouTube channel on youtube.com/WakeUpCallDT, or you can just go to YouTube and search at WakeUpCallDT, and make sure when you're there that you go to the Lemoyne Dolphins playlist that's exclusively on our YouTube channel. You can also find the Dolphins by going to WakeUpCallDT.com. Underneath exclusive partners, you'll find the Lemoyne Dolphins page, and for more information, go to LemoyneDolphins.com. As always, fins up. Let's get into Syracuse before we hop out of here. The Syracuse Orange football program fired Dino Babers with one game left to go. That game is going to be played tomorrow. For those of you watching here on Black Friday, that game is going to be tomorrow. And it's at the Dome, November 25th at 2 p.m. Eastern Time. Syracuse is playing Wake Forest. They are the two worst teams in the ACC, record-wise.
Weren't they 4-0 at one point?
Yeah, but those non-conference. Non-conference.
Yeah, I know.
Non-conference, and then they went 1-6 in the ACC, and the record that Dino had in the ACC was just insane. So and by the way, no disrespect to Dino Babers, I have a great relationship with him. I'm telling you factually, he did not have a good record in the ACC. I don't wish bad on Dino.
I'm surprised they didn't let him finish the year.
Well,
I'm surprised they didn't let him finish the year.
Here's the pause.
Especially with only 2 games left.
But here's the pause. So he did finish. He finished the second to last game. He did Georgia Tech. The last game is Wake Forest. John Wildhack, the director of athletics, if you believe his word, he said that when he sat down with Dino and told him we're going to let you go, he said you can coach the last game. And Dino said no.
All right. I respect that then.
Here's the thing, though. Some people are like, if I'm fired, go screw yourself. I'm not coaching any more games. I'm not doing anything for you to help you out. The other side of it is, it looks like an abandonment of players. If you sit here and say, like Scott Schaefer, I think he knew he was going to be fired. And he coached the last game. And that was hard. And he cried. But he was around for his players. He was around for us in the media that he respected. Him and I talked after that game. Dino's gone. He's gone. He's just gone. And if he said, no, I don't want to coach the last game, and I was on the team, I'd be like, okay, well, I respect the fact that it's like dude's getting fired why does he want to coach? Because they're letting him go. So I do anything for them. But then the other side of it, I think these are my players. And don't I owe them one more ride? Like, screw it. It's not for Syracuse. It's for you guys. Like, screw Syracuse University. I'm doing it because I'm Dino and you're my players and I recruited you. So I owe you this. Like, we're gonna ride together one more time. So, but again, I think that move of him saying no, if that indeed happened, because again, you have to trust John Hunt Wildhack's word. If that did happen, to me, the whole notion that he didn't care about Syracuse and he never built any connections with the community, that fits that narrative. The narrative of, I never intended to be here that long, and once I leave, I'm never coming back. That I'm not coaching the last game. That feels like all right, Syracuse, yeah, I got my money from you. Peace. And that to me is a hard thing to stomach. At the same time, you could look at it and say, well, if I'm done, I'm done. But I don't know. I mean, I witnessed Scott Schaefer do it, and now I'm not going to see Dino do it. So it was hard for Scott, but Scott was a big man, and he put his big boy pants on, and he did his big boy game, and he won. And Dino and I'm out. And Dino and Scott are different.
You can't really blame him though.
But
you really can't, because it's something you kind of felt coming.
Right. But
in the last couple of years, you have talked about this on the show before, and we've chatted about this. Obviously, I don't follow Syracuse the way that you do. Obviously, you cover the team, but I follow it enough to know what's happening, and but when we talk about it, but it's something you kind of almost had to see coming. And if I'm Dino in that situation, I'm looking at it and I'm saying, you know what? If they're not going to want me back, and I'm not coming back, and I don't have a chance of keeping my job, why bother? You can say what you want about the players, and I'm kind of on Dino's side here. I genuinely, I'm perfectly okay with him deciding not to coach that last game, if that is true. And I'm sure the players get it. If it's like someone getting benched. You're gonna get benched. Obviously, you're not going to play the last game. You're benched, right? It's the same situation. Yeah. If you get fired from your job, or you're getting fired from your job, you're going to want to go work a couple more days? No, you're going to leave. Kind of the way it is. And, it brings me back to, you remember when Coach O got fired by LSU, and he kind of said he told the story afterwards, and when they told him that he was getting fired, and they said, "Oh, well, you're still going to get paid your contract and everything, but we're going to let you go." I don't know if you want to coach the last game of the year. So he goes, which way's the door? And wait, what did he say? Which way am I going? Where am I walking out of, or something like that? And it was classic Coach O. Yeah. Like, obviously he's getting canned and everything. So I'm on Dino's side about that. I don't blame him one bit for not wanting to coach that. If that's true, or not wanting to coach the game, I don't blame him one bit.
I see it like this. To me, again, the notion of, I'm never a part of the city. I'm not here for a long time. I want to get my money and I'm out. That's what it feels like. I mean, it felt cold. It felt distant. It felt like, him and I have a good relationship, and it's like, I'm not going to see Dan. I'm not going to see the other people in the media I respect. I'm not going to do any of this stuff. Like, to me, there's a graceful exit. I've been in a job before where I gave my 2 weeks notice, and I did not like my job at all. I did not like the lack of morals and values. I did not like
but that's different though.
I didn't like the sexual harassment stuff that people were doing. I didn't like all the stuff that was going on. So I gave my 2 weeks notice, and I could have just sat there like that. Like,
that's different though.
No, but it's but
Like,
I but I could have given
that's
up.
different because no, but that's different. So you put
It's
in like
different in the
you're
sense that I did
quitting
it,
or
but I
you're
could have just
resigning.
quit.
True,
I could have just
but
been like,
it's
screw you, peace.
true, but at the same time, this is why it's different. Like you initiated that
Right.
versus the university initiating that with him. So like if you're let's just say you have someone involved in Dan Tortora broadcast media that you had to fire.
Yeah.
Are you gonna let do you think they're gonna want to work an extra day because hey, I don't want to fire you today, I want to fire you tomorrow, I need you today. Like no, no, they're gonna leave.
I just look at it
But
more.
that's just the way it is in the real world.
I
And
just
I'm
look
sure it's nothing against the community and nothing against the area. He's been there for nearly a decade.
But the
And I'm
thing
sure he
is,
has some sort of, affection for it. But,
I don't know.
like I said, I'm with him. I wouldn't want to stay either.
I like, and I know that it's the other side. Like, I know 2 weeks notice is different than getting fired. I get that. What I'm saying is I had the opportunity of giving them the middle finger and doing nothing. Just like Dino had the opportunity of giving them the middle finger and doing nothing. It's flipped, but it's the same. It's the choice of like, what are you going to do? All I'm saying is if you were given the option and you said no, the only thing I think about is the kids. And the other thing I look at is you had some really terrible seasons and they stuck with you when you were 5-7, 1-10, 5-7. Oh my gosh, bang your head against the wall, start 4-0, lose a bunch of games, start 6-0, lose the whole rest of the season except for one game. And you're just like, and the fan base is going, how do we go 6-0, 1-6? But they stuck with him. So to me, it's like they gave you that money. They gave you that money. And to me, I get it. I get it. Like emotions run high. I get that. I totally get that. I understand if I'm in a bad situation, I don't want to be there for one more second. If I'm in a relationship, if I'm in a romantic relationship and a girl goes, it's Thursday, I'm breaking up with you, but can you sleep with me tonight and leave Friday? Nah, dude, I'm gone now. See you. I'm not with you anymore, girl. If we're done, we're done. I got to sleep here one more night and have some false belief that it's going to be okay. So I get what he did. All I'm saying is I think about the kids. I think about the kids and I feel for the kids. I do. And I feel,
absolutely.
And that's what I'm saying. I feel for the kids. And because I saw Scott Schaefer stay and I saw Dino leave, when I met Scott and I met Dino and I got to know Scott and I got to know Dino and I have a great relationship with both of them, I said, I have a great relationship with both of them, but they're different people. Dino proved to me exactly that because Scott was heartbroken and Scott stayed. And I'm sure that ate him alive. And I commend him for wearing his stomach on the outside in that last game. Because there was no bowl. There was nothing that he was going to get to. He just coached one more game. And they knew he was going. And it was so emotional. And maybe Dino doesn't want to show that. Maybe Dino doesn't want to show that he can. I don't know. Whatever it is. What I'm saying is I get why he did it. I just saw Scott and him choose a different path. And I see them as different people because of the notion that maybe they're like that. And then when you see it happen, you're like, okay, Scott is willing to fall on the knife. Dino is willing to like throw the knife at you and leave. And I'm not saying that either one of them is right or wrong. I just think about the kids. I think about the kids because these kids have suffered with Dino. They have suffered this BS. Syracuse is in a crappy place. And I want to really paint this picture to everybody. I love my hometown. This team is awful. And I'm not saying the players are awful. And I'm not saying the players aren't talented. The team in and of itself, there's so many things around this. But the team has suffered. They fired Paul Pasqualoni in the early part of the 21st century because Paul Pasqualoni was 6-6 for 2 years. Now when the team is 6-6, we want to have a dang parade. We went from you can't be 500 and he had one losing season. Paul Pasqualoni was one of the best coaches in Syracuse football history. His staff recruited amazing people. His coaching tree is tremendous. Absolutely tremendous. You look at Coach Mack, Ben Schwartzwalder, Coach P. Those are the guys. Those are the dogs. Those are like, put them up somewhere in a ring of honor at Syracuse. You fire Coach P for being 6-6 in back-to-back years. And now you hear the athletic director say this week, our goal was 7-5. He didn't meet it. This is where we need to be, so he's out. And my question back to him was, he wasn't 7-5. He was 4-8, 4-8, 10-3, 5-7, 1-10, 5-7, 7-6. Why didn't you let him go when he was 4-8 2 years in a row? Why didn't you let him go when he was 5-7 after 10-3? That was a giant drop. Why didn't you let him go when he was 1-10? Why did you allegedly give him a raise when he was 1-10? What type of message does that send to Dino and to the community and to the alumni? What are we saying if you're going to applaud him for being 5-7 and 1-10, but you're going to fire him when he's 5-6? It doesn't make any sense. But Syracuse is where they're at right now because they made a horrible decision 2 decades ago. When they got rid of Coach P, they're still paying the price for that. They are still paying the piper for that. And isn't it crazy how a 6-6 coach gets canned after everything he gave to Syracuse for a guy that you just want him to be 7-5? And I'm sorry, but when the director of athletics of any university or college says our bar is 7-5, you need not be an athletic director. If you think that 7-5 is where you need to be, I don't want you leading my ship. I don't want you leading anything. You're telling me that you want to be one game over mediocrity? Everybody that heard that statement should have just hit your head. I mean, when you hear him say 7-5 is where we wanted to be, and he didn't get there, so we let him go. I thought, why did you keep him when he didn't do that before? And I thought, when in the hell did 7-5 mean a dang thing? And somebody said to me, they go, well, Dan, what's your expectation of Syracuse? Win every game, play an ACC championship, go to a national championship game. If your plan is not to win every game, play in your conference championship, and vie nationally, then you shouldn't have a football program, and you shouldn't be a coach, and you shouldn't be an athletic director, and you shouldn't be a chancellor, and you shouldn't be a president. If your goal is to win some of the games, some of the time, go sell fish in an aquarium. Don't do this.
Yeah.
That was friggin' heartbreaking when I heard that.
The thing is, college is so much different than the NFL. Like, obviously in the NFL, like sometimes, like, yeah, like if you're rebuilding, yeah, if you get to 7 or 8 wins, all right, that's fine. That's an accomplishment. You want to continue to build on that going into the next year. But, you know, what they did 2 decades ago with Coach P kind of brings me back to one of their, you know, potential candidates for that job, Dan Mullen. And I know we're about to get into this, but Dan Mullen was fired by the Florida Gators after one bad year. One.
Yeah.
He was the first coach in the history of the program or in the history of the SEC, I could be wrong, to go to back-to-back New Year's Six Bowls in his first 2 years. They were one thrown shoe away from going to the college football playoff. 2020. 2021. No, that was 2021. 2022, last year, fired. Going, I think it was 6-6 or 7-6 or 7-5, something like that. Had a bad year. But you lost Heisman Trophy finalist at quarterback, 4 overall pick in Kyle Pitts, beast. You lost another first-round pick in Kadarius Toney. You lost half your defense.
Yeah.
Part of your offensive line. Team went backwards because they just didn't have enough good pieces to fill it. Now, is that on recruiting? Yeah, sure. But at the same time, you had such great players, you're going to take a step back. Coach O at Oregon, at LSU. You You lose Joe Burrow, you lose Jamar Chase, you lose Justin Jefferson. Of course they're going to go downhill. That's the way things work. But at the same time, Dan Mullen did not deserve to be fired. I think Billy Napier has been a waste of space as the Florida Gators head coach this year. They've been awful.
Yeah.
They're going to get their doors blown off by a backup quarterback at LSU now. All the credit in the world to Graham Mertz, who had a great year. Going to probably miss this week because he's hurt, but I don't know if we're even going to go to a bowl game. I don't even know if they're even going to go to a bowl game. So that team was not worth watching this year. I did not like the Billy Napier hire. They never should have fired Dan Mullen. I was in the minority of Florida Gators fans in that route. So I would encourage Syracuse to bring in Dan Mullen, at least for an interview, because I still think he's a great coach. He coached Tim Tebow, a Heisman Trophy and 2 national championships, was on that coaching staff with Urban Meyer. He nearly brought Florida to the national championship, or to the college football playoff. Second year, he's a good coach. And I know he's a little bit controversial because of some of the things he says, but he's a great coach. He deserves another shot. Syracuse the right place. Would he go? I don't know. I think he's probably going to be looking for another shot in the SEC. But,
Yeah.
If I'm him and, that's a job that comes up and, and they come calling, I'm entertaining it. I'd go to Syracuse. Imagine how well respected he'll be if he's able to turn that program around, which I think he'd be able to do.
Here's my
With
thing.
his name recognition, I think he'd be able to do it.
Well, I wrote an article on WakeUpCallDT.com. You can all check it out. And it's called the Dan Mullen option. I'm going to read you what I wrote because I want to get your thoughts. Dan Mullen's name has come up when speaking about the next head coach of the Syracuse Orange football program. But just because the name is brought up doesn't mean it's an actual option. People bring up names all the time whenever a job becomes available. So why Mullen?
Colin Kaepernick.
Yeah. Yeah. So why every time? So why Mullen at
Every freaking time.
Every time until he's 80. Well, so why Mullen at Syracuse? Well, he has ties to the Orange football program because he was a graduate assistant on the offensive side of the ball in 1998. Since then, he doesn't seem to have any ties to Syracuse. He's been a head coach of 2 SEC schools, leading Mississippi State from 2009 to 2017, record of 69-46, and then the Gators from 2018 through most of 2021 with a record of 34-15. Mullen has an overall coaching record of 103-61, which is far better than 41-55 that we saw with Dino Babers. However, outside of being a coach with a winning record and having spent a year at Syracuse as a grad assistant, what is it that makes Mullen a true viable candidate for the Orange? He was let go by the Gators less than a full 4 seasons, and since then has been an analyst, stepping away from coaching for the last 2 years. Mullen's price tag is also high, with his last stop, the University of Florida, paying him over $6 million per season, which would rise to over $7 million for each season. Syracuse University has not been known to fork over that kind of money. And if they really were going to open up the checkbook, why not go for Jimbo Fisher for that amount of money? Fisher has coached the last 2 seasons while Mullen has been on a broadcasting set. He has led Texas A&M Aggies to a win against the then number 1 ranked Alabama Crimson Tide and numerous nationally top 25 ranked teams. Head to head, Fisher defeated Mullen's Gators in the 2020-21 season. So if Syracuse were to call Mullen, then they should call Fisher. But both have little to no ties to the area. Their price tags are higher than what Syracuse University is known for, and neither is a long-term fix because if either were to succeed with the Orange, it stands to reason they would leave for a better job, especially having both tasted life in the SEC.
Yes. And that's a good point. I mean, if you're going to go after Dan Mullen, Jimbo Fisher has to be on the list as well. And I would make the call. I think you should try and get them both at least in for an interview. Worst case, it doesn't work out. But you're not wrong. Realistically, Syracuse for either one of them could be a stepping stone back into the SEC. We've seen it from a lot of guys in recent years. They'll go to a smaller school. They'll do well. and they'll take a job at an SEC or a
But the thing
Pac-12 school or something like that, or a Big 12 school.
But if Syracuse has had temporary success, very temporary, for more than 2 decades, why would you want to hire another coach for 3 years so that you have to fix it again and again and again and again and again?
Well, here's the thing. You bring in one of those guys with a coach in waiting. When they leave, coach in waiting becomes your new head coach. Basically being trained by one of the better coaches in college football.
But that means
to take over the program.
That means they would
which won't change all that much.
Right. But it would have to be one of their guys. You don't get to pick. You don't get to call Jimbo Fisher and say, this is going to be your OC because we're going to hire him in 3 years.
And that's fine. You make sure that, when Jimbo comes in, he picks his guy that's going to learn behind him. When Jimbo goes elsewhere, coach knows that they are going to be the new head coach of Syracuse.
So I want to throw this at you because there's one coach to me that fits every bit of criteria, and he's also connected to the Florida Gators. Steve Addazio has had ties with the Syracuse Orange football program almost 30 years. He worked under former head coach of Syracuse, Paul Pasqualoni, in 95-96 as a tight ends coach and assistant O-line coach, and then 97-98 as the team's O-line coach. He would go on to be an assistant for the Notre Dame Fighting Irish, Indiana Hoosiers, and Florida Gators before becoming the head coach of 3 programs: Temple Owls, Boston College Eagles, and the Colorado State Rams. Most recently, he worked under Jimbo Fisher as the offensive line coach for Texas A&M beginning in 2022. Despite moving on from the team in 99, Addazio has never lost his ties to Syracuse and Central and Upstate New York. He loves the area and has kept his eye on the talent in Syracuse and Central and Upstate New York wherever he goes, recruiting football student athletes as recently as within the last few seasons, including his time as the head coach for the Colorado State Rams, as well as during his lengthy tenure with Boston College. Addazio has clearly seen that Syracuse and the state of New York in general has quality football student athletes, has consistent record of recruiting the area that was left without much response from Syracuse University during the Dino Babers era. Tyler Rouse of the Baldwinsville Bees, Tyler Days of the CNS North Stars, and John Phillips of the Christian Brothers Academy brothers were all recruited by Addazio and his staff and went on to play for the Eagles, to name a few. Addazio has kept his connection with Coach P, Paul Pasqualoni, showing respect to the man that gave him his first NCAA Division I coaching gig when he was hired under Coach P to work, and he also hired Coach P to work under him for 2 seasons in Boston College, so he paid it forward. So he started his coaching career at Syracuse, has recruited the area for years, appreciates and respects the talent in the area, and values the relationships he has made in Central and Upstate New York in their community, which sounds like a real viable candidate to me. It also does not hurt that Addazio has been on the staff of 2 Bowl Championship Series national championship teams, which both came in Florida in 2006 and 2008. And to add to all of that, Syracuse fans typically say the offensive line is the biggest glaring issue, and he has been an offensive line specialist as recently as literally today.
Yes.
So I think Steve Addazio checks all the boxes.
That's one that makes sense. And, they're going to go and obviously there's going to be extensive search and, they'll find their guy. Is he the guy? Well, that remains to be seen. I don't expect them to make a hire anytime soon. I probably would think they'll probably wait until after the national championship. So they'll probably go into January or February with the coaching search, and then they'll find their guy. It could be sooner. We don't know. But I think it would make sense for them to do their due diligence. I think he's a guy that makes all the sense in the world for them. With his ties to the area and with, being a coach under Jimbo Fisher and under Urban Meyer in the past, and has worked with also Dan Mullen and worked in big time schools in the SEC. So he's a name that makes a lot of sense. I think it would make sense for them.
Wake Up Call with Dan Tortora is the exclusive multimedia marketing partner of your Bryan and Stratton Syracuse Bobcats. You can find the Bobcats every single month in the Bobcat Buzz with student athletes, coaches, and administration all throughout the year. Teams that have fought for national championships, won national championships, as well as teams that have advanced to the national tournament, and an up-and-coming baseball program that started last season, as well as every awesome thing that they have to offer, including esports. The Bobcat Buzz, giving you the student athletes, coaches, and administration unique stories that only the Bobcats can tell. You can find all of this by going to youtube.com/wakeupcalldt and clicking subscribe, or simply searching at wakeupcall DT on YouTube. Our BSC Syracuse playlist gives you our Bobcats on the YouTube channel. You can also find them on wakeupcalldt.com underneath exclusive partners in the BSC Syracuse page. For more information, go to syracuse.bscbobcats.com. And as always, go Bobcats. In these unique times, there are those in our community that give us a sense of normalcy and positivity. Pizza Man on 50 Oswego Street in Baldwinsville has been here for you for over 35 years and is here now. Call 315-638-1234 or order online at pizzamanbville.com to bring those familiar tastes into your home. And remember to come see our monthly on-site broadcasts centered around the community and our Baldwinsville Bees. Pizza Man in Baldwinsville. Any way you slice it, they are always here for you. Looking for your next ride? Look no further than Great Lakes Honda City, located on 7140 Henry Clay Boulevard in Liverpool, New York. Serving our community for decades, their new and pre-owned vast array of vehicles are available to you Monday through Saturday on site. To search from home, shop at GreatLakesHondaCity.com. Call 315-365-5576 to set up an appointment. That's 315-365-5576 for Great Lakes Honda City, 7140 Henry Clay Boulevard in Liverpool, New York. Great cars, great people, Great Lakes.
Our corporate purpose at Chick-fil-A is to glorify God by being faithful stewards of all that's entrusted to us and to positively influence all those who come in contact with Chick-fil-A. And what became increasingly clear from our success at Cicero is that people love Chick-fil-A. And also I think we recognize that, we had a great opportunity to grow the brand and grow our platform. I felt incredibly grateful when I was selected to be a Chick-fil-A operator. I think what it's meant for me, what I've come to realize on a very deep level is that this is a calling for me. It's not a career, it's not a job. The Lord called me to be a Chick-fil-A operator and to use these restaurants to glorify Him and to positively influence other people. I'm blessed. I'm very blessed.
Head to Chick-fil-A Clay on 3974 State Route 31 in Liverpool, New York. Or if we got two more things to do, Tiger Woods and let's show our cards. So I'm going to hand off the Tiger Woods to you, that he will be back for us in this beautiful world of golf.
He is. So he'll be making his first start back at the Hero World Challenge. He is one of the hosts of that event. So that's one of the, events that he has circled on his calendar every year, even post accident. He's going to play obviously all the majors, and he's going to play Hero World Challenge. He'll play the Genesis because he hosts it. He'll play, I'd imagine there's some other tournaments here and there that he'll play. So that'll be fun. That'll be fun to see him back on the course. He looks to be in great shape. He's been caddying for Charlie. He just caddied a 54-hole tournament for Charlie, his son, a couple of weeks ago, and he carried the bag and walked 54 holes, and he looked pretty good doing it. So I'm stoked to see him back on the field. He's if you were to rank the greatest golfers ever, he is, most people's number one or number two. It's him and Jack up at the top. But that's gonna be fun to see. And then the PNC Championship. That's the father-son tournament that he's played the last 3 years with his son Charlie. He'll be back. They'll be back in there for that tournament starting December 14th. That is one I look forward to. And even if you are not a golf fan, I highly recommend watching it. They play in Orlando, and it's father-son or parent-child, grandparent-child. I think Gary Player typically plays with his grandson. Nelly Corda is probably going to be back in it with her dad. I think the requirement is that you must have won a major in the PGA or LPGA, and I think they're just starting to include the LPGA players in there. So, that's why Nelly Corda gets to play with her dad. Justin Thomas and his dad typically play every year. John Daly and his son, John Daly II, play every year. They won it a couple of years ago, as did the Thomases at one point. BJ Singh plays with his son Cass every year. Oh man, I'm trying to think of other teams that'll probably be there. But there's a lot of really fun ones. Gary Player's there every year. I think Padraig Harrington's usually in it with his son. And then you see some other players that are playing with their dads, the younger guys that are maybe in their 30s that'll play with their dads that are in their 50s or their 60s, and it's really, really fun to watch. I know Annika Sorenstam played with her son, or I don't know if it was her son or her grandson, but 11-year-old kid hitting bombs off the tee, making putts, and it was fun to watch. But you're going to see Charlie this year playing from one tee in front of the big guys. So he'll be playing the same tees as Little John Daly, John Daly II. Charlie apparently is carrying it 265, 270 now. He's hitting the ball far. So I'm excited to watch him. He was hurt last year. Charlie rolled his ankle a day or two before the tournament, and he was hobbled for a bit, but he's going to be healthy going into the tournament this year. So I'm looking forward to it. Getting to see Charlie play is actually pretty fun.
Yeah.
But anytime you get to see Tiger back on the course, that makes it really cool. But one other golf note that I want to mention: the TGL, which was going to be the indoor league, simulator league that was going to be run by Tiger and Rory, is going to be delayed until 2025 now, after the roof collapsed in the indoor stadium. So they are not going to push it back a couple of weeks. They're going to just push it back to next year, which is kind of sad. I was looking forward to that, but it's all right. We'll still get to see it. And when it comes to fruition in 2025, we'll get to see it. It's going to be a lot of fun. We're still looking to hear for more information about it.
Yeah.
But I'm excited for it. But I'm also excited to see Tiger Woods back on the golf course, as are any golf fans that are out there. Many of my students are Tiger Woods fans. Excited to see him back out there, as well as myself and the coaches I work with. So we're excited to see him back on the golf course.
Yeah. And I mean, Tiger, him and Davis Love III are the reason why I got, that they're the reason why I would watch anything. A little bit of Payne Stewart, rest in peace. Tiger Woods, I would. I mean, I would literally be like walking through. My dad's watching golf like all day Saturday, and I'm like, oh,
I'm gonna tell you right now, Monday the 16th, after the PNC Championship, I want that to be a big topic that we talk about. I want you to watch it. We're going to talk about it. All right, and I'm holding you to it.
I love how I didn't agree to any of this. It says wake up call with Dan Tortora, and Murph goes, here's my idea. I'm not waiting for your answer. It's like, Dan, would you like to? We're going to. There was somewhere in between there where I didn't get a yes or a no. Here's my thing. I have no problem watching it, right? I'll watch it more now. Like, I've watched stuff with my dad. I actually really enjoyed it. But Tiger Woods, I mean, he was who got me involved. I mean, he was the one that I watched. I would walk by the TV and be like, Dad, who's up?
That's everybody.
And if he didn't say Tiger Woods, I was like, whatever. And then I still remember being a kid walking by the TV, and Tiger was putting. And I think it was for like a sudden death thing. And he's putting, and I just stopped. And I was like, he's got to make it. And anytime that Tiger was on television, I'm like, he's got to make it. He's got to win everything. I was Tiger all the way, and I was Davis Love III all the way. And now, I watch it. I enjoy it. My dad and I watching the Masters and this and that. Like, I have fun with it now. I definitely do. So I don't mind. seeing-
You'll enjoy the PNC
I don't mind
because it's
seeing
different. Because the thing is, it's different.
that. No, I know.
You get to see all these legends playing
Yeah.
with their kids, playing with
Right,
their parents.
which
So
I
I
think
think
is
it's really cool. You'll enjoy that.
No, and it's awesome. And I have no problem with it. And, I don't mind doing that. I mind the fact that you gave me homework on my own show and didn't ask my permission. That's what I mind, but it's all good. So Murph, we got to show our cards. It's our last thing here. This is the Black Friday special of Wake Up Call with Dan Tortora, DT, and Murphy, bringing you through your crazy day. Whether you're at home, online shopping, we're helping you have something on in the background if you're online shopping. If you're out with all the crazy people, you're listening to us because you're in a really long line and you want something to do that's fun, or maybe you're working out, or maybe you're eating another turkey sandwich and you're like, Dan, it is 10:45 in the morning and I'm just like, I can't stop eating turkey. Whatever it is, it's okay. And I want to let you know that there's one time a year where you can have 72 turkey sandwiches and you can have them at 3 a.m., 9 a.m., 1 p.m., 4 p.m., 8 p.m.
I'll pass on the turkey
You
sandwich.
can have them anytime you want. Here's the thing, though. I had an upset stomach this past week, and one of the only things that could work for me was turkey. So I pre-gamed Thanksgiving by like eating turkey for 4 or 5 days straight. But now I'm making the bird. Well, I'm not having made the bird. Now that the bird is done, going into it and having all of this turkey going into it, I feel like everybody else would be like, I'm turkeyed out. But there's something about making the turkey, and I stuff the turkey and I cook the stuffing inside of it and I do all that stuff. So there's something about being on the other side of that now where it's just glorious. And I love turkey sandwiches, and I do cranberry sauce, jelly cranberry sauce, mayonnaise, Italian bread from Lincourt Bakery. Say word to all my people in Central New York. So Lincourt Bakery bread, homemade stuffing inside of the bird, turkey. What else? I said stuffing, cranberry sauce, mayonnaise. And do I put anything else in there? No, I think that's it. But
Let me ask you a question.
I rock out with my turkey like that. What's up?
Let me ask you a question.
Yes, sir.
Have you ever had deep fried turkey?
No.
That is the only way that I find it acceptable to eat turkey. Now, doesn't mean I won't eat it at Thanksgiving, because I will. But at Camelback, we do a turkey fry every year.
Mm-hmm.
One of the guys, Harris, always runs the turkey fry, and he'll inject it with whatever. Like he'll do it with like garlic and herbs and whatever, and occasionally he'll do one with like maple syrup. That one was phenomenal. Deep fried turkey, so underrated. Never done it. I highly recommend it. I am going to convince my family to do it one year. I hope.
Yeah.
And it's going to come out amazing, because deep fried turkey, in my opinion, is the best way to eat turkey.
I think if you deep fry anything, people know that from the New York State Fair, it tastes good. People were deep frying bubble gum and people were eating it. So,
ew.
Yeah. I mean, if you want,
ew.
If you want to
How
have,
are you gonna? Oh, that's nasty.
People do things, Murph. I don't know what to tell you. Let me tell you this, though. Let me say this. When they were deep frying bubble gum at the fair, the earth was inhabited by more sane, rational, logical people than are right now. I would take deep fried bubble gum over America in 2023 any day. Any day. That used to be the biggest problem, deep fried bubble gum. And now there's just so many issues that don't make any sense. Let's show our cards quickly, Murph, because
before we do that, I just want to make sure that my audio sounds okay, because I lost my AirPods just died.
Yeah, no, you're good.
Hopefully I still sound okay.
I can hear you.
Go ahead.
Yeah, so we're gonna do our cards. I'm gonna choose what I show here because I have a giant stack of things.
I don't have much. It was just a PSA order I picked up on my way here. So obviously all my cards are at home.
Now I'm gonna pick what I got here. So let's see here. So I'm gonna show you what I got in the last trade show from GG Cards and Breaks. And I'm really excited about these. Now, these prices are not my prices. These are the prices that the gentleman had on these. But I have two. These are both numbered, right? This one's not. Is this one numbered? No. Okay. Oh, no, that's the other one I'm thinking of. So I have two Randy Johnson. Where am I? Two Randy Johnson patch cards.
Those are
Yep.
sweet.
No, he's with the Yankees, but I got these cards for less than what the thing says on here. But I got two Randy Johnson patch cards, which he's my favorite pitcher. And I got this
Pretty
one's
good
numbered.
pitcher to be your favorite.
Yeah.
One of the best to ever do it.
He's 8 feet tall. And I got this one, which I intend to sell at the Giant Mega Show at the fair with you. This is 28 of 50 in the world. It is a Dalton Kincaid rookie card, Buffalo Bills. That's why I got it. And 50 in the universe.
Mhm.
CJ Stroud that I showed you all. I also got this one. It's a rookie. I got this one out of the goodness and just kindness of Shane. Shout out to Shane at the Wildcat. He goes, I know you like Trevor Lawrence. It's not a rookie. It's an insert card that says Splash, and it's just really sweet. And he just gave it to me for fun. And then these are both numbered low. And if I don't decide to keep these in my private collection, personal collection, then these may be at the show. And no, I did not put the tape on the top here, and the tape is not connected to the card. So
Good.
this,
Better not be.
it's not. So Garrett Williams, this is a Syracuse DB rookie. So it's got him in Arizona on the front, or pardon me, him in Syracuse on the front, Arizona on the back. It is numbered to 49 in the world. And it's a Garrett Williams refractor rookie that has Syracuse and Arizona. And I got an RPA of the man who didn't leave Syracuse without breaking some records. It is a tricolor patch RPA numbered to 25 in the world, Sean Tucker.
There you go. Been solid. He's on the Bucks, right?
Yeah. Let's see on the back.
It's been solid for them.
And if I show this to you and I can go a little
That's
bit
nice.
closer. You see out of 20.
I like Immaculate. Immaculate's a really good.
Immaculate's beautiful.
Immaculate's great.
Immaculate, like anytime you pull a card out of Immaculate, you're like, oh my gosh, this is just so nice. Even if I don't like the player,
My
it's like
nice
I wanna
Anthony
be a fan.
Richardson RPA, I think, is Immaculate.
Oh, I do have these. Really quick, let me throw these at you. I have two Anthony Richardson.
There we go.
Right there. Some love.
I might be coming home with those.
Yeah, you might be. That's why I want to show them to you. And if you guys want these cards, I'm having a massive yard sale. Anything Texas Rangers related, you can just take it. Take it. I want you to give me money, but I have a this.
Throw them in the dollar box. Someone can have them.
This is a nice refractor, and then this is a Josh Jung insert rookie card refractor. These cards are very nice. The Texas Rangers just won a World Series. They won it over my Diamondbacks. So I put these in my case and I was like, get them out of my house. I mean, a lot of my cards in my case is like, I love them. And if I come home with them, it's okay. But anything Texas Rangers related outside of my dude, Nolan Ryan for life, you can have your fun with my Rangers. So if I pull good Ranger stuff, I hope you guys take them at the show because I don't.
Well, if it's good, I'll take it.
This is my thing.
Hey,
I've had.
If
I've
you
had
get
several-
Wyatt Langford
yeah,
out of any kind of Bowman 2024 Bowman or 2023 Bowman draft,
yeah.
send it my way.
Here's my thing.
I'm going to be all over Wyatt Langford.
I feel bad.
Two reasons. One, great prospect. Two,
Yeah.
he's a Florida Gator.
And I have to say
And
this.
I want him.
I feel bad saying this, but I have to say this. I love children. Let me preface by saying this. I love children. I love being an uncle. I want to be a dad someday. With, I already got Lily, and I'd love to be a dad to a human. And I look at this and I have to say this, and I'm sorry in advance. If there was a child's birthday party, then there was a Texas Rangers cake, I wouldn't do anything to it in real life. But in my mind, I would be putting my foot through the cake. And I don't know if I can be okay with the Rangers ever again. I hope the best for them. I pray that they do well. I pray that they succeed. I hope they win another World Series. But if I have to see them again, I just know how I feel now. And I need people to fully understand that I don't feel good about this. But if there was a children's cake at a store that didn't belong to any child yet, and it was just for sale, I think I would pee on it if it was a Rangers cake. And I'm sorry about that, but I'm also not sorry about that. All right, Murph, go ahead.
Oh man. All right. Well, this was a PSA order I just got back. Not even made it on my Instagram yet. So this is first time anywhere in the world anyone's seeing it. This was the football special that they did back in September.
Yeah.
There's no real big cards in here, so that's okay. Got a 2022 Mosaic. That's Christian Watson. That is PSA 10, it's the reactive orange rookie. None of these are expensive cards either. It's just a solid card. Another one, this is a cheap one too. Jordan Love. This is 2020 Mosaic. Just base Mosaic NFL debut.
I think I have it.
Again, this is like a $20, $30 card. It's a PSA 10. This is a little bit more, but it will be more if he gets playing time with what Will Levis is doing right now. We won't know. But this is a purple shock. Malik Willis. It's actually relatively low pop. I think it's like pop 13 in a PSA 10. So real nice card. That's one where I obviously would love to see him, just get on the field. If he gets on the field, I think I'll be able to sell it for a little bit of dough. Some other cool ones from this order. This is a Jackson Smith and Jigba optic red. It's a color match in the Ohio State uniform. This is last off the press, number 149 out of 149. This is a PSA 9. Very upset that it's not a 10, but that's okay. Kenny Pickett, optic base, PSA 9. Another solid card. Not exactly expensive or anything, but like I said, Jamar Chase, Panini Prism, just Prism base, Jamar Chase, PSA 9. And then this is actually kind of a fun one. I hope he gets to play at some point. This is from Chronicles 2023. Contenders. This is Hendon Hooker.
Oh, I like Hendon.
That is a college ticket auto in a PSA 9.
Yeah.
This is a really, really cool card. That was one I was excited when I pulled it. It was a quarterback. This is number 2 of 75, PSA 9.
Yeah.
Really good card. Really cool card. I like it a lot. This one I imagine will probably not be coming back home with me from Syracuse. This will probably go to you. This is just a base Prism, Trevor Lawrence, 2021 rookie, PSA 8. Probably could have been a 9, but there might have been some surface issues that I didn't see. But came back an 8. So I imagine this will probably stay with you. And then this next one, or the last one here. I was very disappointed at the grade. I'm not really sure why it got the grade that it did, and I'm debating whether or not I want to crack it out of the case. Yeah. I might just keep it in the case because it's a PC card and I don't really feel like getting rid of it. But I think it looks good in a PSA slab. This is Sauce Gardner on a red rookie ticket. This is number 134 of 149. Red rookie ticket auto. Came back a 6. But I think it looks good in the PSA slab, whether it's a 6 or a 10, I don't really care. Yeah. This is a card I'm probably going to keep, so I might just keep it in the slab. If I ever decide to sell it, I'll probably crack it out.
Yeah,
but
makes sense.
It's a really cool card. I'm happy to have it, and worth a little bit of money. So if I do ever decide to get rid of it, I'll make a little bit on it.
Yeah, and you mentioned Jackson Smith and Jigba, and there's certain rookies that I just pull. I did a Breece Hall thing. Jackson Smith and Jigba has been my recent pull, Seattle Seahawks. So I got this cool card, which shows 2 guys from history and then him, and all from Ohio State. So it's a rookie card, select of Jackson Smith and Jigba with the 2 guys there with him in the background. I have an Enfuego. So this is a nice card, and it's on fire. And then this one is an ocular refractor from Illumination. And this Jackson Smith and Jigba is, and let me see if I can show it to you here. You can see it. It's 3 of 3 in the world. So Jackson Smith and Jigba, I'm planning on his stuff going up. I have a bunch of his rookies.
I hope so.
These 3 inserts here, but this 3 of 3 in the world, I definitely think that this one might be leaving my house. So
yeah, I tell you what, that Chronicles box I had opened, where I got this, where I got the Hendon Hooker. That was a good box.
Was it a what was it, a blaster
2023 Chronicles.
Bigger box? What was it?
It was a hobby box, 2023
Okay.
Chronicles.
Okay, yeah, makes sense. So, with that being said, for Murph and I, the annoying moment of the week, probably presented by Carvel, DeWitt, as well as Lead, Learn, Evolve, Adlib, and Deliver, brought to you by Chick-fil-A Cicero and Chick-fil-A Clay on what we are thankful for. Top Dog of the Week honors presented by Canine Camp Dog Daycare and Canine Kampground Dog Boarding, as well as talking about the New York Jets, Zach Wilson, moving forward, and Syracuse football, their coaching situation at the head coach position. Tiger Woods being able to see something coming up here in the world of golf with a wonderful player and their child, which I'm very much looking forward to. And I think that's a great thing that Murph brought up. And of course, sharing with you our show and tell. We are so happy you spent Black Friday with us. We hope you have a fantastic day, and make sure to watch the Miami Dolphins at the New York Jets as the only NFL game on Black Friday. And Murph, I look forward to seeing you back on our normal Mondays, and I appreciate you. I happy Thanksgiving you again, and I will make sure to save some of my turkey, throw it in a fryer, and have it ready for when you get up here.
There we go. Deep fried turkey. I love it. Happy Thanksgiving, everybody. We'll talk with you soon.
Happy Turkey Day, everybody. God bless.